What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for being patient. Let's get it going, okay? Let's get the show on the roll. I got some things to say. Mess with the technical issues, but you know what? That's none of your... You don't care about all that. You don't care about all that. We got a show to get to. So thank you all for joining me. We'll be flying in our minds, in our hearts. I can't even get that going. Crashed 5 times before I could get the stream going again. But whatever, moving on. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Got a good show. So good afternoon, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Welcome aboard Nick's Stream. This is your captain speaking, the anchor baby. Yes. We got some nice in-flight entertainment for today. Want to deal with a couple things. Gonna be dealing with the culture. Black culture is American culture, but really it's beyond culture. And what am I talking about? We'll get into that. The Trump controversy, Trump indictment, and all that. Haven't gotten a chance to say what I had to say about that. Plenty of stuff to deal with. The arms race, the ever-evolving arms race of AI. And I want to bring a little light to the transgender situation. All this outrage on the transgender. Oh my God, transgender. What are we doing to ourselves? You hear everybody talking about it. The outrage. Is the outrage making it worse? Plenty of in-flight entertainment for today, as well as your calls today on Nick's Stream. Thank you for flying Nick's Stream. Kick back and relax. It's our Friday. Let's get it going here. Let me turn on my camera here. What's up, everybody? Don't even have this set up correctly. Hold on. It's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to have you all here. Like I said, we're going to have a show. You can call in 760-515-3855. Call in, do your thing. As I get this show on the roll, as I get going here, you can call in. How's your Friday going? What's up, Jose, Kevin Howe, Tar Baby Yoda? Hey, Shosugino, Lord Spike Protein, Teresa, Urinal, Cake Sorcerer, what the? Karen Williams, what's up? John Frederick, the magnanimous Noah's Arkansas. Willie Powell, we got TSA on board today. So if you mess around, TSA's coming for you. We got the lovely flight attendants that are going to come down for service. Drinkies and snackies are coming your way. You don't have to be in first class, but you can super chat, which is your first class ticket. Good stuff, good stuff. So let me get right into it since we have a late start, blah, 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 blah. What's up, Mr. Mad? Hey, what is that? This Snake Pit security guard, the one and only. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐. That's a new name. What's up, Becca? Have you ever been here before? I've seen you in the JLP chat. All right, we got a good show. So let's get into it. What the heck is this monk? What is this Friar Tuck situation going on here? Look at this. Which way do I go? Which way should my hair go? This way or that way? Right on, Iron Phoenix. Welcome. Very cool, Lord 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐. Welcome. So yeah, it's awesome to have you all here. It's good stuff. Am I this camera looking all right? Feeling like it's funny. All right. Well, lots going on. Lots going on. In the country, in the world. Nick's got bangs. What the heck? Thank you. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. Look, before we get going, thumbs up the stream, share it, do your thing, follow me. Follow me, Gorgonzola on Twitter, Gorgonzola on Twitch. I got the Edgar. Yeah, I got the Edgar right now. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, follow me here, subscribe to me here on YouTube, and let's get it going. I know it's late when I start, Becca. Okay. So how do I want to kick it off today? I want to kick it off with a little bit of culture talk here. What's up, Jean-Pa? I still got to say hi to everybody. King Drop. Very cool. Permit until it looks like a black shirt. Look, I got waves going sometimes. Sometimes I wake up, I get out of bed, and I got waves. You guys know what waves are? Got the waves look. I don't know exactly how blacks get the waves. I think it has to do with sleeping in a do-rag. Maybe some creams out of the ethnic hair aisle section. But I woke up like this. What's up, Steve Strack? But I don't really got the waves going, but sometimes I get waves. Anybody knows what I'm talking about? Shout out. Wave check. These real waves, my Enga. My glizza. Anyways, it's an absolute pleasure to have you all here. And what's up, Repro Beta Mindset? Glad you're okay. And okay. I want to start talking about something here. There was something that happened last Sunday. It was the Country Music Awards, okay? I actually like country music. I didn't watch the awards though. I never watched the awards. I don't really care about all that. Country music is like weird nowadays, especially. The country music is like pop. It's like degenerate. It's embarrassing. It's pathetically female oriented. So that's what's going on. I like the classic stuff. And I got into it, like, I've always kind of liked it, but I got into it, it was kind of a joke. I was cooking, right? Many of you might know I used to be a cook, and we used to bump tunes in the kitchen as we do, and totally, it was supposed to be a meme, supposed to be ironic, and we just started bumping Alan Jackson, like back-to-back Alan Jackson, and man, did I love that stuff. And I've always kind of liked the Hank Williams and Merle Haggard and stuff, but Alan Jackson brought me into the fold for real. So yeah. And so something happened. So last weekend, it was the Country Music Awards in Austin, Texas, okay? And there was a couple things I noticed because it just happened. It just comes up on my news feed. I'm plugged in. I'm in the matrix. I got the news feeds going, and I couldn't, not see this stuff. The Country Music Awards, and a couple things that I noticed from it. Okay, a couple things that I noticed from it because I don't really want to talk about the Country Music Awards. Okay, there's something I want to say about it and all that. And so, the first thing I noticed was this one musician who won some kind of award. This guy named Jelly Roll. Look at this guy. Jelly Roll, aptly named because of his, physique. Now, that's a man that does not mind at all what he looks like physically. He's dressed fine. He's dressed cool and all that. Anyways, it struck me his face tattoos. The tattoos that he's all tatted up, and it reminded me of Post Malone. You may not know who I'm talking about, but Post Malone is a rapper, hip hop artist. I got him on screen now. Also with the face tats. And that's really the point here is this is kind of like a hip hop influence. Rapper influence, hip hop influence is the first thing I kind of noticed. this Jelly Roll guy, at the Country Music Awards. All face tatted up and all that. And not only that, but this woman here, Megan Thee Stallion, made an appearance there as well. Yeah, no, North Arkansas, he looks country. He's got a country look. But I think the whole face tat thing, that's like a total like gang, criminal, like hip hop world influence, and then kind of breaking out beyond that. And of course, like I was saying, Megan Thee Stallion was there, a black female rapper, you know, very famous, very degenerate, very into, what's up with these female rappers too? Female black rappers, it's all about shock value. How sexual can I be? How much can I, how out of control, like, just like slutty can you be? It seems to be the arms race amongst the black female rappers. But anyways, those are the kind of the first few things I saw. And there were some other things that happened. There was this woman, Kelsea Ballerini. I don't know her music, but she made some call for real action after the Nashville school shooting. And you know about that school shooting, right? Audrey Hale, whatever, this so-called transgender person who went into that school, killed 3 kids and 3 adults. So this Kelsea Ballerini does this call for reform or whatever, calls for real action. You can see her here. You might know who she is better than I. Kelsea Ballerini. And she was also joined on stage by this drag show performance, okay? This is the Country Music Awards. I probably shouldn't play too much or any audio of this. Here I go anyways. And she was joined on stage by these drag queens, as they're called. And they did this little drag show performance on stage where they like mime the words. What's up with these drag show? That's their like best talent, is like, let me play a song and just parade around and do like, just mime the words. Like isn't that like little kids do that? That's not a performance. But anyways, I saw this and it struck me just how pervasive what I'd say is black culture is, okay? And this blackening of the CMAs this Country Music Awards has been happening for a little while. In fact, 2021, you might remember this. In fact, I think Jesse talked about it a little bit. The Tennessean even said the 2021 was the year black excellence staked its claim in Music City, okay? And black expression took center stage at this Country Music Awards, right? I mean, black should be at there. It shouldn't. Isn't that like a whole Southern thing? Like blacks are Southern, right? So no problem there. But it doesn't seem natural. It doesn't seem natural. Anyways, or like what the word I'm trying to say? Grassroots. What am I trying to say here? Doesn't seem like it happened naturally, right? But that's just my opinion. And so there's this kind of like blackening of the Country Music Awards, but it's not really that. It's really just a display of the general kind of culture, especially young people, Zoomers, younger millennials, and all that. But anyways, this blackening of the CMAs, it kind of started in 2016, maybe even before that. But Alan Jackson versus Beyonce, the 2016. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Any country music fans? I'm not really a fan of country music like that. But anyways, you might know Alan Jackson. You know, he's like a country boy, like born in Georgia in the country and broke out big. And he's had like several like fights with the Country Music Awards. You know, the TV executives always trying to make him more palatable, shortening his music, making him not play live. You know, he was really about live music and just doing it perfect. He'd rehearse with his band like crazy. We're talking like real professional, really wants to do it right. You got to appreciate that. And so this is an ongoing thing with Alan Jackson versus the CMAs. There was in 1994, they tried to make him play to a track without a band. He ended up just playing anyways, got the drummer to hit the drums anyways and stuff in total cowboy defiance. So you got to love that. You got to love that. And I'm kind of like delineating these kind of like ways of thinking, ideologies, philosophies, the spirit behind what's going on, because it's happening at a much larger scale. So they try to make him more palatable. He's fought over and over. Anyways, 2016 rolls around. Beyonce shows up at the CMAs. And this was also a thing. And conservatives were a little outraged, and at least some were. Country music fans, some of them, the purists, were a little outraged. Like, why is this pop singer, hip hop, R&B singer, why is she winning an award and doing this big performance at the CMAs? She sang Daddy Lessons, backed by the Dixie Chicks. It was a country song. So I don't know. I don't really care about that. But Jackson, Alan Jackson, the total purist at the time, he walked out. He did like a walkout. It's like, no. Walked out, and this brought on like this aftermath. Okay, the Dixie Chicks were disgusted. People were like, that's racist. And in general, they were calling the outrage or backlash racist. And that was that cycle. And it was like blah, blah, blah about that for a bit. And I kind of remember a little bit about this. So awesome. Al Jackson is awesome for that. No fear. At least in that respect. So anyways, why do you care about this? Why are we talking about this? Why am I talking about this? Let me get right to what I want to. Let me just get right to it. You know, this week we saw a resurgence of this outcry against what they call digital blackface, which is when, what is that? Which is when non-black people online use memes and images of black people to express themselves. Like you put a little GIF, which is a moving image, a GIF of a black person, a sassy black woman saying, you can't do that. Ain't nobody got time for that, or something. And you're just making jokes online. Well, if you're not black, you can't use that. They call it like minstralism or whatever. It's like making black people perform for you. Whatever. But what they miss about this, what black people miss, what in general people miss, is that this is American culture, at least for younger people. I don't know if people realize the influence black culture, black mainstream culture, music, etc., has, how much it's influenced people my age and even younger. I would think maybe even a little older. But you hear it in the way they speak. Think about slang. No cap. Oh, no cap. That's just one that comes to mind. Etc. Okay, that's the American English vernacular for all races of young people. Zoomers, all of them. They all talk like that. The fashion, the music. You have to understand that hip hop, rap, etc. now, it encompasses so many genres. Okay? It encompasses all of them. You got hip hop and rap that's all punk or more emo or more like goth or, you know, metal, even rock. That's all hip hop now. Hip hop is the gray goo. That's hip hop and rap and all that culture is the gray goo that has taken over all these subcultures of the past, and they've recombinated them into into its own DNA. You follow me here? And so so you got to understand that is the culture, the way of speaking, the culture of especially young people. You got to understand that, because that's what's coming. That's what's influencing them. That's what's that might give you a little bit of insight as to why we see some things. Okay. And that already brings up a couple things, like how can there be white supremacy when it's their culture that's celebrated? They speak that way, hip hop influence, you know, all that. And there was some, and I saw this too, and I really don't care about it. I just see it in the news, and it kind of fits with what I'm saying here. That Angel Reese controversy. Angel Reese is that female basketball player. She plays college basketball, and she did that thing where she went like this to the white player, but the white player did that too, and it was like, oh, that's so controversial because she's, I don't know, chirping, taunting her opponent, which I personally don't have a problem with. It's sports. It's whatever. It's whatever. But that is everyone's culture now. Okay. I saw some people call it, oh, that's black of her to do that. That's everybody now. Or younger people, which is going to eventually be everybody. That's my point here. And it also explains why the CMAs, why the Country Music Awards would do this. Okay, if the Alan Jackson fiasco is any indicator, their propensity towards palatable and mainstream, it means that these moves of having drag shows, having a drag show. This is Austin, Texas. Christian Austin, Texas. That's how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe not Austin, but just in general, I see Texas as conservative, Christian. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm like way behind on the times here or something. But that's how I see it. Maybe not Austin. I hear Austin might be a mess. But they have this drag show. Okay? And so these moves of having drag shows, of pop and palatable and bring on the black excellence on display. They even said those words. They said 2021, no tokens no more. The year of black excellence claimed its stake at the Country Music Awards. The reason they do this is they see money. They see it as a profitable and viable course of action. Okay? The motto of Austin is keep Austin weird. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So they see it as a profitable and viable course of action, right? Totally profitable and viable, okay? And I want to get into a couple of these things I'm bringing up. Another thing, think about how these media moments, have you ever heard the term signal boosting? Okay. That means to propagate ideas, media, clips, moments through the culture, through the media. It gets propagated by people through outrage. The trans stuff, oh my God, they had a drag show at the Country Music Awards. It all signal boosts the whole thing. It's signal boosted on the front end by the corporations, by the Country Music Awards, by the acceptance of it, by the government, and also through the so-called opposition, through the outrage. It's signal boosted. So that is what I saw. I found that quite interesting. I found that quite interesting because that's how I see, people my age, younger peers, friends I have. They all speak in a certain way. And it's black influenced, hip hop influence, rap influence, whatever. It's really not black anymore. It's like a corporate culture. It's kind of fed to us, sort of. It's a social media culture, but everyone, younger people, they talk like that with the slang and all that. Anybody know what I'm talking about? It's black influence. You know it is. And so, anyways, we're all black now. We're all black. Yeah, we all black. Stay black because that's the most important thing. Yeah. And what's the point here? Why is it being signal boosted? Why are we seeing this at the Country Music Awards? It's partly because that is the new culture, there's an old way and a new way. That's how I'm seeing things, okay? There's a clear kind of old way, and sure, both, and a clear kind of new way. And both kind of are a little amorphous in my mind, but they have differentiating, indicators. Trump, his indictment and all that, the Trump presidency, it kind of represents some of what I'm talking about. The old way and the new way. The rejection of the old way and bringing in the new way. The trans stuff, the culture change. It's all about this old way and the new way. Oh, cool. And I do have a caller here. I'm going to get right to you in a moment. Caller, I'm about to get to you. And so that kind of sets the stage for a couple of things I want to talk about today. Well, we're going to get right into this call here, but yeah. If you're following me here, the outrage is signal boosting it. Black culture is the main culture, seemingly. And corporations, leaders, whatever, they're all in on this new way, the new culture, the new way of doing things, the new religion, really, the new cult, the new religion, call it many things, really. But they're all in. And there's players on all sides, both, actively all in with the new way, with the new culture, the new religion. And there's people subject to it. There's people, powerful people even, in terms of money and influence, subject to this new way. Okay? People with money, people with influence. But above them is this new way of doing things. Because they're, and I'm going to get into it, you'll see that some of these people with influence and power, they only have it, or can only keep it, if they go along with the new way. And talking about signal boosting here, speaking of signal boosting and the culture, etc., blah, blah, blah. By now, you've probably seen this crap with like Dylan Mulvaney, that transgender guy, being the face of Bud Light on the beer and all that. This guy got, okay, you got to understand this guy. I'm trying to avoid showing you too much, but this guy got facial feminization surgery, okay? And what that is they literally slice you up here. They slice you down here, and they like pull up your face off of your skull, okay? And your vessels are showing, and they gotta like, I'm sorry, this is graphic. They snip a couple vessels and stuff, and then they shave down the bones and stuff, and then they put your face back on you. They paste it back on. They they drill it. They staple it back. Okay, maybe not all that. And now you're a woman. And now you get to be the face of Bud Light. Okay. And I'm kind of signal boosting it too. Like, oh, Nick, you're talking about, aren't you outraged? I'm not outraged by it. I'm signal boosting it though, because I'm trying to wake people up from this big joke, this big lie on both sides that we're being cajoled into doing by getting them outraged by, and it's a back and forth, and it's exactly what's making Bud Light money, CMA's their money. It's what's getting the clicks. It's getting the views. Anyways, now they have Jack Daniels doing it too, apparently. I just saw this too. It just kind of fits the show, but they got Jack Daniels now. They're doing LGBT campaign, and they got drag queens holding their Jack Daniels bottles. Okay, look at this Newsweek article. It says, lost a loyal drinker. This one person said. This one loyal drinker of Jack Daniels is telling Jack Daniels, you guys lost a loyal drinker. They're going to go woke, go broke. Go woke, go broke. It's happening. And I keep hearing that. Go woke, go broke. Oh, they're going to get hit in sales. What a joke, in my opinion. You don't think they thought of that? You don't think they thought of that? It's all about their money and whether it's expanding their audience. Okay, and whether it's expanding their audience or protecting what they have and not angering the wrong people, the trans people in this case. whatever it is, they're doing it because they know they're going to keep the overwhelming majority of their customers. They're going to do this switch. They're going to have the Dylan Mulvaney on the Bud Light can. They know that whatever people boycotted, in my opinion, I think they know that whatever boycotts, whatever drop in sales they get from the boycotts, the overwhelming majority of people are still going to drink their beer. And they're going to maybe bring in some trans people into the fold, or some LGBT people, or people who don't drink beer, whatever. And they know this, okay? I remember when the Oreo thing happened. You remember Oreo did some like so many of these corporations are doing now, some gay thing. I saw it on the Hague Report. And I'm like, oh, Oreo, what the heck? I remember even having a thought, all thoughts are lies. I didn't really believe this thought, but I remember having the thought, you know what? I shouldn't eat any Oreos. Not that I ever, in fact, before this LGBT thing that Oreo did that I saw on the Hague Report, I hadn't eaten an Oreo cookie, and I can't even remember. I can't even remember last time I ate one. Before that, it was soon after. It has to have been soon after that, because I found myself eating Oreo cookies. I went to the gas station here nearby, went to get a little snacky, some snackies and drinkies while I worked. Saw a little pack of Oreo Thins, and I'm like, oh, let me get those. And I picked them up thinking, oh, these guys support evil. And I bought them and I ate them. Talking about it puts it in your mind. Talking about it puts it in people's minds. And in many cases, that's enough strategically for companies and for Satan. Sometimes that's enough. Just putting in your mind is strategically enough. And I'm about to get to your call here. Thanks for holding. Anyways, think about the trick, the major trick that just got played on us. Oh no, Dylan Mulvaney, I'm not gonna support Dylan Mulvaney. What the Bud Light? Nah, I'm gonna switch beers. How many people are saying that? I saw some people in the chat during Jesse's show or Hake's show or somewhere. I saw people in the chat because it was either Hake or Jesse who brought up this Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light stuff. I saw people in that same very chat saying, I'm still going to drink that beer. They got us. They know that we're way too into whatever we're into. Whatever it is that you're into. Because people are into all sorts of different things. They know we're hooked. Hooked on that. Hooked on this. Okay? And the trick, they got us good. Now we're talking about beer. We're defending other beers. Blah, 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 blah. Talk. Dylan Mulvaney. In the end, what's the big picture? When you pull out and you look at the bird's eye view, what do you see? People are defending drinking. People are, and I'm like, I have a beer. I have beer. Like, I have my beer. I'll go out. Have a margarita. Look. But you got to watch what you feed, okay? That was awesome. If you guys caught Joel Friday, awesome show. He's got a great show. He's got a great show going there. He was talking about which animal do you feed, the flesh or the spirit? I'm kind of paraphrasing. And I've actually heard that story growing up all my life. I heard that all my life growing up, and it stuck with me, in fact. So it was cool that Joel brought it up. But I heard that my whole life, and I kept hearing this story. It was a story my mother told me, and I heard it in different variations throughout my life. And it was a story of a man who ran like a dogfighting ring. And the story goes that he always bet on the win. He had dogs that would fight, and he had people bet, and he always bet on the winning dog. And people wonder, like, how are you always, like, this guy's fixing it. Like, how is he always winning? And so finally, someone asked him, I don't know why this man would divulge the secret so easily, but hey, for the sake of the story, the man was asked by another man, how do you always know which dog wins? He just said, the one I feed more. These people know, they got us. They know we've been feeding the beer, the fun, all that. And this is not a holier than thou thing. I have my beer sometimes, but you gotta watch what you feed, because it's not necessarily a sin, but you're bringing about. You're feeding a demon. You're feeding a dog a wolf that lives within you, that you are not more powerful. You're not smarter than it. You're not more powerful than it. And it's gonna eat you up. So anyways, that's the big trick. They got us signal boosting this stuff. It's crazy. Let me not just ramble on forever. And let me take this call right away, because I got a lot more to say about this and stuff related to it, etc., etc. But I am very grateful. I have a caller here on the air. Your name? Where are you calling from?
It's me, Teresa.
Teresa in Texas. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
You can ramble on. It's your show.
That's true. I'm a ramble if I wanna. But I really wanted to get to my call here.
But no, I was kind of gonna make a comment, my little 2 cents about the thing.
Yeah,
about
please.
The transgender thing.
Please, by all means.
This is my belief on the agenda. I could be totally off base, totally wrong, whatever. But I felt like this before all the past 3 years of all this crazy transgender clown stuff. Okay, so like, I think they're doing it, or the agenda is, because they're trying to get us ready for how many of these people that have fooled so many people. In other words, the ex-president's wife, and a lot of movie stars that you actually think are women are really men. Remember, I talked to you about knowing the difference just by looking at their bones and stuff.
I've heard some of this.
Structure.
I've heard some of this stuff. It's the
there's
idea
a lot
that
more
it's the idea
trannies out there than. Well, that's
I'm sorry. I've been influenced
that.
by Hake. I've been influenced by Hake. So as soon as someone says something a little spicy, I'm already like, whoa, don't say that.
Let me say the whole word. Transgenders out there.
Thank you.
That have been fooling a lot of people, especially in Hollywood.
You know, I've heard this. Okay.
And it's on both sides.
Go ahead. Are you bringing up this idea? And I've heard this before, that a large amount of Hollywood actors that we see are actually totally transgender, and we're talking about the people I've talked to about this. They say they'll show me pictures of they'll show me like literally any celebrity. They'll be like, "Yep, trans," and they say it so easily.
Yep.
They say it so easily, and to so many of them that I find it hard to believe.
I've been doing it for at least 10 years.
Man, I don't know. I find it hard to.
I'm seeing, because you got to understand what they're moving the whole world to is this transhumanism, and that means transgenderism. It's going to be to the point that you're not going to know the difference between a computer, a person. It's already like that. That's why they're changing languages and stuff like that. They can just say something and change a whole definition of a word.
I don't know if it's like that. I don't know if it's really what's it called? Planned out in that way. I don't know.
Okay, well listen.
Because
who is their daddy? Who do they worship? They worship Satan. And Satan is upside down. What's good is bad, what's bad is good. Everything is flipped around, flipped upside down, flipped around. So why wouldn't that be the world? And of course, even the mere elite will be fooled. What do you think they're talking about?
Do you have anger, Teresa?
No. I'm just saying.
And I know that might be too personal of a question, but I have a point here. I'm not trying to really get on you. But
okay, yeah, no, come at me. Come on.
Do you have anger?
Not no more since I forgive my mom and dad.
Right on. And so I ask you because, I'm on Jesse's network, and I truly believe this: anger is evil. And anyone who has anger, their father is Satan, okay? And
Right.
how many angry people do you know whose father is Satan and they're not transgender? You know what I'm saying? Like it's too
A lot.
right. That's like it's just too far
I
to say.
was at
in my
one
opinion.
time.
In my opinion. I just don't think it's coming at us from that angle. I think it's more of there's a new way of doing things, and the new religion, the new way of doing things is you can't it's allow everything, okay? Because allowing everything is love. Allowing everything, pervert anything, being tolerant, as they call it, allowing all these things, allowing people to live their lives, that's love. And then and then the opposite, being saying you should have limits, not tolerating evil, etc. That's evil. That's the new way of doing things. So that's why I think these things are coming about, because the new religion, the new way of doing things is allow everything. So what argument can these people who agree with this, their argument is that this is love, allowing all this. But so you think that all these Hollywood people are trans? What about 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎? Let's do Jada Smith. That trans? That's a trans person?
I don't know. I got to see her body.
I'm just throwing names at you. Rihanna.
But
is that a trans?
She has who?
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Rihanna's trans? Why?
This is what I'm saying. There's going to be so many women that you're going to be like, men are going to be like, no.
I don't believe it.
They're going to be jumping off buildings. There's no way.
My problem with this way of thinking is everyone I talk to who's into this, I'll show them anyone. I'll show them.
And some men that you think some men that you think are men are really women.
Is Will Smith a woman?
But you got to understand, on the camera, it makes it look a lot different.
Look, everyone I talk to who's into this, I'll show them any celebrity and they'll be like, yeah, trans. And they'll say it so easily that I find it, I think it shows to me that they willingly and easily believe stuff. And I can't go along with this. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know, because like I said, I don't totally believe, because I know people like that too. Like I said, I got to be able to see it myself. I got to see a picture of their body.
You
I
can't
gotta
tell.
See it. And then even then, remember I told you look at looking at how you think people could dig up people from hundreds of years ago and look at the bones and tell you whether it's a female or a male.
That's different. You could tell from a pelvis. A pelvis tells you if it's that's clear. Exactly. But you're not looking. You're pretending like you're seeing pictures online of people and you can see their pelvis.
She's got what men have. It's called a something belt, an Adonis belt.
See, I don't know about that.
A lot of these, I'm going to say 99% of all the women that walk in the, the Victoria's Secret, they're men because they have the Adonis belt. That's not
the Adonis
possible
belt
with a
is
woman.
not, okay, I'm learning now. The Adonis belt is muscle and connective tissue. It has nothing to do with bones.
I understand, but a woman does not have an Adonis belt because she has she has the pelvis.
But I've seen girls who work out and and a lot of the gym culture has affected women a lot, and they're like religiously in the gym like men.
Because some of those women are taking massive amounts of hormones.
And sometimes these girls are cut up and they have the V. They have a little bit of a V, even though it took them a lot of work to do it because they're women. They have a little bit of a V, and I don't know. I think you can mistake that for an Adonis belt.
You also look at the shoulder width. There's no way that 3 heads should fit on a woman's shoulder.
Poor ladies out there with big broad shoulders. You're getting a bad rap. We got broad-shouldered women out there who are total ladies,
and believe me,
and you conspiracy theorists are taking away their womanhood. I'm messing with you.
And I even got questioned because I'm tall, okay? I get questioned all the time, even now. It's like, some guys are like, is that a dude? Because I'm tall. I'm 6 foot tall, probably 6'1" in shoes.
Wow. So people say, you're saying some people suspect that about you?
Oh, I know it. Listen, when I used to be a waitress, I would have guys literally come up and stick their hands up in between my legs to
Whoa.
check.
They would do what? Why
and
would
they
they
would
do
get
that?
put out.
Right on. In Texas too. Aren't you allowed to carry?
Then I just show them my stretch marks, and then that whole conversation's over.
What a mess. Okay, look. But you just said they do that to you too. And you're as we all, I mean, as far as all we know,
Oh yeah,
you're
I've
a
been
lady,
called
you're
sir
a bona
before
fide
because
lady.
I have a lower register voice because people aren't looking up or paying attention. And I'm like, oh sir, I was like,
see?
excuse me, and I have.
And now
I'm
you're doing to
large-chested.
others. Now you're doing to others. You're inflicting on others what was done to you.
Is that what I'm doing?
Nah, I don't really know. I'm just kind of messing with you, but it's kind of interesting if you kind of think about it. I mean, if people can mistake you, and you're a bona fide lady as far as we
before,
know.
but it never bothered me. You know, I was just like, okay, I can understand because I am tall. You know what I'm saying? It's not very many tall women like me. You know, but the only thing that's different is I'm well endowed as far as up at the top, so it doesn't look surgically done.
Oh, okay, I understand. Very intelligent, as they say, right? Intelligent.
So
you're not seeing my hand movements. Anyways.
And then with men, they like tall women. They really do. There's a lot, especially short men. They love tall women.
Short men love tall women? Is that true?
Well, most of the ones that
they like the
like
Amazonians.
My son's father is short. Like the guy I was married to was shorter than me.
Oh, you used to be married?
Yeah, I was married.
Right on.
What?
I'm just learning about you, Teresa. That's all. I don't mean to pry.
I know, that's okay.
Regular caller on my show. Well, Teresa, I mean, I'm
right.
following. Look, I don't think that's too. I think that's too far. But I hear you. I've talked to people who believe that.
Okay, can I ask one question?
By all means.
So, just say, for example, I'm right. I know would it make a difference?
Would it make a difference? Not to me.
It wouldn't. To me, I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, that's why I don't understand or like why they're doing all the protesting. It's just like what you're saying. They're kind of being clickbaited.
Mm. Yes.
Basically.
Yes. And that's what this is. It's clickbait.
So, like, I would never go to a protest, whether it be something I believe in, not believe in, but, you know, whether it's something I agree with or not. Like, I would never go to a pro-life. That ain't none of my business.
Right on. Yeah.
So, that's all I wanted to know.
I tend to agree. There might be a time to do that. One day that might come.
And
I don't want to put
God
that away,
wants me to do that, he'll lead me in that way.
Fair enough. Right on.
So,
agreed,
through a voiceless voice, of course.
Well, Teresa.
All right.
A pleasure.
Well, I'll talk to y'all later.
Right on. Moving
Listen
the wheels.
to the show over the rest of the show.
Thank you, Teresa. Bye now.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay, moving the wheels. Let me welcome some first-class super chatters here. Listen, any super chatters who were here last Friday, I haven't figured out how to do it. I think there's a way to do it. I'm going to refund your super chats. I can't believe that I had the stream going, basically. You know, I had the scheduled stream here on YouTube Friday. I didn't take it down. My computer crashed. I couldn't get a show going Friday. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to complain. But you guys super chatted. That's crazy. And I'm going to refund you. That's not fair. But I'm very grateful. What was I going to say? Yeah. I was trying to get the show going. And I couldn't even bring myself to look at I was like, no. I overreacted. Okay, so let me pull this up because kind of continuing here what we're talking about a little bit. What should I do next? I should continue this, okay? We'll do some fun stuff later. Oh, man. Noah's Ark, Kansas. We got some first-class super chats. That's right. Apologies. Schizo stream, where I'm jumping around topic to topic. But look, let me welcome Noah's Arkansas. Thank you so much for the generous donation. Please, sir, sit down on your first class seat. The flight attendants are ready to serve you. Steve Strock, thank you so much, says no difference between a beta male and a transgender. Right on. And Alex Tapia, man, thanks for that. Says, God bless you, Nick. Love you, man. Right on. You guys are the best. Nick looking like George Clooney circa 1990. That's one way to... Thank you, Lord, baby. That's nice of you. That's one way of looking at me. What if I do this? Will I look more UK again? Will I look like a UK chive or something? Look. There, that's the Clooney. Okay, anyways. Enough of that. First class for transgenders. If you buy a first class ticket, look, we're still a business on nickstream. We're not going to discriminate. But hey, it's not, there's no comfort zones. There's no comfort zones on nickstream, okay? You're not going to get a safety zone. You might get criticized. It's like people being people on nickstream. TSA, like Lord Bibby, Noah's Arkansas, they're going to keep you in line. But otherwise, you're free to mingle and do your thing. So no safety zones, no comfort zones on this plane. Which brings me into this next topic here. I wanted to cover this situation that's going on in Canada. And I grew up in Canada. Moved there as an anchor baby. Born as an anchor baby in America. Moved up there with my illegal alien family. I mean, this is just true. This is my life. Okay. Anchor baby, born in America. We moved to Canada. And my family decided to go up there because they didn't want to be illegals anymore. They didn't want to do it like that. It was wrong. So good for them, I guess. They went up there, got their Canadian papers. There are a bunch of snow Mexicans up there, snow Colombians, if you will. Anyways, I lived in Canada, grew up there since the age of 9. And Canada, in many respects, is similar to America and the West, because I grew up with, even in this day and age where a lot of this is eroded, I grew up with ideals and just kind of general knowing that things like, you're innocent till proven guilty. Decency, just things that we grew up with in the Western world, etc. And it's changed so much in just a few years, okay? And you probably saw some of this already. The Ontario, a province in Canada, similar to a state. This province in Canada, Ontario, they have the NDP. It's a party. The New Democratic Party. It's not just in Ontario, I misspoke. It's a political party in Canada, okay? Like the Republicans and Democrats, they have in Canada, they have liberals, conservatives, and up there, liberals are red, conservatives are blue. And then they have a couple of other parties with a growing support and growing a growing influence and key part to play in the government and in the Canadian culture. And up there, liberals are up there, conservatives are like the Democrats here. Straight up. And up there, the liberals, as that's called, the Liberal Party of Canada, is like communist, like woke, like everything, every word you could think of. It's been said so much. Even this stuff about trans and all that, it's been said so much. It's like ad nauseum. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I've heard that. But we're talking about this for a reason. We're trying to wake people up. Okay, anyways. What's going on in Canada is the NDP, the New Democratic Party. So you got to understand. Conservatives, which are the Democrats up there, the liberals, and then even more out of control off the deep end is the NDP, the New Democratic Party, headed by Jagmeet Singh. This is the leader. Jagmeet Singh. You know that's already an issue. We got what's your argument, Nick? What's your argument? Are you saying a man in a turban and a beard that's already bad? How about you give me an argument? Give me some statistics. Yeah, I don't think I do. I don't think I have to. Yeah, I don't think I have to. Plus, you just got to see what they're about, and then you'll see that I'm right. But Jagmeet Singh is the leader of the NDP. Anyways, the NDP got together, and they're urging legal protections for drag shows, LGBT, blah, blah, blah. They're calling it this is the actual act. It's called the 2SL 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 plus Community Safety Zones Act. No safety zones on nickstream, though. Not on this plane. Oh, sorry. So it's called the 2SL �𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 plus Community Safety Zones Act. And I had to look up what 2S means in the LGBT stuff. It means two-spirit. What the heck is that? Two-spirit. Let me pull up the Wikipedia. Two-spirit is a modern pan-Indian umbrella term used by some indigenous North American to describe Native people in their communities who fulfill a traditional third gender or gender variant. I don't believe that. Right away, sounds like crap. Anyways, they got the NDP. They got the NDP out here. You see? Black culture. Out here. Anyways, they got him out here. Look at them. And you've probably seen this clip. I don't want to play it and go back and say. But look at who they have in the background. They got this woman here saying, basically what the act, let me just say what the act is. The act provides it gives the Attorney General the power to designate 2SL �𝒑𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 plus community safety zones. And the act prohibits persons from performing an act of intimidation within 100 meters of the boundary of a property that is designated as a community safety zone. And first thing you on its face, if you will, if you're an average Joe Schmo, if you were a liberal even, it prohibits performing an act of intimidation. We don't want to do acts of intimidation against people, right? And if it's happening to these people, a whole bunch, well, they should have their safety zone. A lot of people in Canada think like this, by the way. A lot of people here too, but a lot of people in Canada think like the way I just described. So, I don't think this is a real caller. Hey, caller?
What's up?
Oh, Google was telling me you were not real.
What? I am real.
Well, we have a real caller on the air. Your name and where are you calling from, sir?
Zeus from Florida.
Zeus from Florida. I was trying to check if you were real or not. And since I already took your call, we'll get into... Let me just take your call, and I'll go back to what I'm talking about here in Canada in a moment. Please, go ahead.
Cool. I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit, actually.
About what's going on in Canada?
Yeah, what you were talking about,
Sure, yeah, please, and then I'll give my take.
The way I kind of see it is they're just, I think Jesse's, spoken about how, they sometimes use the black people to, I guess, push their evil agenda. I feel like it's the same thing with this group of people. And, if you look on that, I guess, that press conference, it's, women, there's, a black lady, and then it's all the drags and all them people. And I feel like it's the way, I guess, that evil is being pushed with those people. And the way they're using that is to take away people's rights. Like in Canada, they don't have freedom of speech anyway. But
right.
I mean, how long until they try to do something like that here in America? I mean, when you look at what happened in Nashville with that shooter, they weren't condemning that community. They were saying that they are the ones under attack. So I feel like
totally
that group and the out of control, black people, they're the ones being used to push the evil agenda, and that's all they really are, is like I guess useful idiots, I think is the term some people have used.
Yeah,
They're
I think
just
that's
being
fair.
used, and really they're just people who are, have anger or whatever, and they're being manipulated.
Big time, man.
And the way I like, and I don't have issue with anybody, but I'm also not the person who's going to sit there and not say stuff. And I've had interactions with the quote unquote trans people,
Mm-hmm.
and what I feel it is they are evil not because they're trans, but because they have hate and anger. They
Totally.
hate themselves, and because they hate themselves, they push it on everyone else. So since they hate themselves, the only way they feel better is making your day like crap, and that's why and people I worked with, they I don't know, especially if you're happy, they try to bring you down. But that's just the way I see it, and I see it's evil not because of, I guess, the acts they do, just because of the anger and the hatred they have, because it causes them to try to bring down other people.
And think about it, man. What trans people I notice are trying to do is ultimately they're trying to feel better. They know there's something wrong, and they believe it's because they're the wrong gender in the wrong body or something. And ultimately they're trying to feel better, and that's what everybody is trying to do. And when you think of it like that, and then you realize what evil really is. It's this this hunger, and this desire to fill it with everything of the world. So these people, they're really not much different, but they've got this. But they're all in. They're all in on this new culture, this new religion, and they're really
Yeah.
the ones. When you can't criticize something, they control. They're really in control. So they're enjoying what you, if you will, if we can call it enjoying, they're enjoying a sort of boost from the society and all that. But they don't realize that this boost is hurting them. And like you said, they're being used. They're being used. I was talking about black culture is the culture, and the trans stuff and all that. But in reality, it's agendas. It's people's interests. It's people's motivated interests to use people.
Yeah. And one thing too, like I think Jesse said this, is if you really care about someone, you're gonna tell them the truth. And like with these people, everyone around them lies to them, and so these people try to be happy by living this lie, and you're never gonna be happy living a lie. So maybe sometimes what they do is they get that surgery, cut off their body parts. Later they realize this isn't what made me happy, and now I can't go back. And that's why I feel that sometimes when they off themselves, it's because they've realized they've kind of gone too far, and the people lying to them didn't help them. So with them, at this point in my life, I don't know. I'm not rude about it, but I'm not gonna lie. And
Right.
I just kind of I speak truth, and sometimes they get mad, and it's funny. Like I'll be called, "You're a transphobe," and it's like there's no such thing as transphobe. It's just a word people use to control weak people, and I ain't weak. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. And I tell them, I actually care. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not a woman. You're a man. Like, and the funniest thing is sometimes when that stuff happens, like they'll start insulting, and like one thing, I don't get mad, and I like when they insult me, I don't care. All I do, and I got this from Jesse as well, is I tell him, I wish you well, man. Feel how you want to feel. I wish you well, and I just leave it, like, because you can't convince people sometimes, and sometimes it's best just to leave them be.
Right. I
And
was
let
just
them
about to
live
ask
in
you
their
that.
hell. Yeah.
I was just
And
about to
it's,
ask you if
it's
you think you can convince someone, because
no.
otherwise you wouldn't be even bringing that up. Unless it
Well, the
came
thing
up or
is,
something, I guess.
the thing, I don't bring it up. Sometimes it does come up, but the thing is, I like you're not going to reach everybody, but who knows? You might reach that one person. I don't know who said that. I heard that somewhere. Maybe it's Jesse. I don't know, but like it's reaching
Yeah.
the ones who are meant to hear it. You know what I mean?
Fair
Because not
enough.
everyone is going to hear the message. Like, and especially in today's society. And I don't know, but I just am at the point where I speak up, and I don't try to like one time I was at the bar, and like I had went to pay a bill, went to Applebee's, I sat at the bar and people were having a conversation, and I spoke up because I was there drinking a beer, and it wasn't Bud Light, by the way. I never drink Bud Light, so I drank it if it's free, but I'd never buy that. But anyway, that's besides the point. One thing I do want to bring up that I thought about is do you know what the Baphomet is or no?
Yes, I'm somewhat aware of this. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like a depiction of Satan.
Yeah,
And it
essentially
shows. Yeah, go ahead.
some depictions of it have like it
Ooh,
having
I don't know if I
female
can show
breasts
this on
and-
stream.
Well, I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just saying
Go
some
ahead.
depictions of it show it with a female's breast,
That's true.
and I guess it's all supposed to have the male parts, and it's supposed to. I guess when they made it, it's supposed to represent like hermaphrodite or whatever, which I mean, I don't know how that relates to the trans, but I just kind of find that interesting that there's that correlation of the Baphomet and what they're trying to do with this whole trans agenda.
There is something dark about it. It is really not a modern thing. It's quite an old thing. In fact, when you look into it, it's quite an old ideology. This, and really not just trans, but in general this fluidness between, for example, things that are supposedly just apparent truths like male and female dichotomies, the dichotomies of male and female, the dichotomies of biology. A fluidness between that is actually quite an old idea, and from what I can tell, always involved with pretty dark communities and dark religions and weird stuff.
Yeah. The way I look at it is like with existence, there's like an order and things have their roles. So like, for example, male and female, right? The male's role is to lead, the woman's role is to whatever, provide for the family, or not take care of the family while the man's out doing what he needs to, right? And that's order. And the way evil, I guess things going is by causing chaos. How do you get chaos? By disrupting the order, by telling women, hey, you can be a strong, independent woman, go do all this stuff. And that chaos leads to things like, for example, like, I don't know if there's a correlation, but like if it's just interesting, like the more women that are in positions of power, it's only getting worse. And that's because it's not part of the natural order. So there's not going to be order in it. It's only going to cause more chaos.
Yeah, I think that's true.
In my opinion, but I don't know.
I think that's true. Don't you think, let me ask you this one thing here. Don't you think that some of this response to it, like, going on shows and talking about it, or being at the bar and arguing about it, is that also, what am I trying to say here? Signal boosting it, basically. Signal boosting the whole thing.
In my opinion, it can be. It's all about how you respond. So, for example, if you're talking about it and you get angry and you fight and there's anger, you're just pushing more evil. But if you handle it with love and you don't get angry, you're just like, hey, whatever, man, believe what you want to believe. I wish you well.
Yeah.
You know, there's ways to handle things. Like when we're at the bar, it was actually one conversation we had. It was about cops and all this stuff. And there's like me, a black guy, a white man, and a white female. And everyone was civil about it. It wasn't like, there was no like, you know, everyone was chill. So it didn't end up to be something where it was like, it didn't come out dark. Everyone just gave their pay. It was kind of cool. It was like everyone just having a conversation at the bar, and it was not, no one got into a fight. Nobody got angry. And I feel like when stuff like that happens, it's all right, because how are you going to fix things by having conversations? It's when you get angry or when people want to fight or all this stuff that I think is where it goes too far. And I think a lot of the stuff that they do, like for example, having that guy Dylan be the spokesperson of Bud Light, I feel like that's just to further push anger and evil, because people are going to get mad, and instead of handling it with perfect peace and not getting angry, they're going to get mad and I don't know, go do whatever they're going to do, and it doesn't help the situation by creating more anger. So it's really about the individual's response to each situation. If you handle it with love, you're good. If you handle it with anger, it ain't going to lead anywhere good, that's for sure.
Fair enough, Zeus. I can't disagree with that.
Definitely. I'll let you go, though, but I got one thing
Please.
I want to say, and I wanted to say it earlier. I called into Jesse, but like I wasn't able to get through.
That's true. We didn't get to you. You were waiting a while, too, man.
Yeah, it's cool, though. Like, I'll call again, but I'm trying to think, what was it? It has something to do with the light, too. I think, I might get it wrong, but essentially, light is so powerful. The only thing that it's needed for light to do to vanquish the dark is to shine.
Yo,
so I just want to encourage people.
Please
encourage people to keep that in mind when you're living your everyday life. You're going to be presented with moments where darkness or anger is going to try to diminish your light. Shine your light, and you will win. And I don't know. That's just something I thought about. I wanted to say that earlier, but
I gotta say I agree, Zeus. And in fact, that segues right into what I wanted to say. And I want to tell people exactly how to, at least one example on how to show their light. That's cool, man. Thanks.
Cool. Shout out to everybody. I wish everybody well, and I'll catch you guys later.
Thank you so much, Zeus. Moving the wheels, sir. Thank you very much. Nice. 760-515-3855. You can call in, get just whatever you want to talk about. But it's true. Letting your light shine. Okay. How do I want to do this? Okay. Let me get back into the Canada thing. I want to give you my take. I want to give you an example of maybe shining your light. Maybe a little example. Even in this situation. Because I think we're being tricked. I think we're being played into getting outraged about it, the talking about it, the back and the forth. And I think ultimately it's tricking us into having a sort of middle ground where we just fight, but we still kind of next to each other. And then eventually what's going to happen is the ones who want to be left. I heard this from someone. I don't know where I heard this, but the ones who want to be left alone, the conservatives, the ones who will just want to be left alone, live their life, are going to lose to the people who are bringing in the new way, the new culture. And so I think that's where we're being goaded into this fight, so that we just live next to each other and fight, but not really fight, because the conservatives aren't really fighting. And what I mean by that, I want to explain what I mean by that in the context of love and in the context of what I'm saying is that they're taking this kind of middle ground. And I don't know if they even realize they're doing this. But anyways, back to this 2S/LGBTQI plus community safety zone thing. And they're bringing this about in Canada. They're doing this here in similar ways, if not yet like as a bill from Congress, they will. Take this in. What I'm trying to say about this is this. What they're asking for in Canada with these community safety zones is essentially what they're asking for is protection from all criticism, which is what everybody is subject to at all times. That's everybody. Okay. That's what you're subject to. That's what we're all open to normally. No one is safe from that. And so while that's happening, Christians and conservatives are trying, I guess, in a certain way to be tolerant. Okay, they say it's fine if you do that, but not the kids. Don't do that to the kids. This so-called middle ground that I'm talking about. I've said this probably too many times now, but Ron DeSantis, Florida, don't say gay bill, but after a certain grade, you can say it all you want. And so if you look at the situation in Canada, you see that there is no middle ground for them. And the conservatives should have no fear in that, okay? This is the spiritual battle right here, right in front of us. Not because everything else has been said, okay? It's gross. It's wrong. These drag queen story hours, what the? But parents take them to those. So I find it hard to get up in arms about that. But anyways, this is the spiritual battle right here. The big lie is that those groups need protection from criticism. Which they call, by the way, they call it hate speech. They call it bigotry. And that they need protection from the big bad world, okay? Because the world treats them wrong. It doesn't accept them. And by the way, what does it mean when you can't criticize a group? They control you. They are in control in a sense. Not the individual trans people, but the ideology, I guess, as a whole. It's at least being used. And here's the thing, though. I hear the conservative response to this Canada thing, for example, even. They say, oh, you can't do that with the community zones because we're not hateful like that. No one's hating you. We do accept you. Okay, we're not hating you. We accept you. We just think it's weird or wrong or whatever. But they're not even that strong about it. I say, why not agree with the NDP? Why not agree with the liberals and the trans people on this? That is, in a sense, they're right about us in a sense. That we're trying to, even if we don't know it, they're right about it. Society does not accept them, or at least the old way doesn't accept them. Not in the way they're being accepted now by the new way. Here's the thing. You know, they can't even stand up to criticism anyways, right? I mean, like real criticism with love, not the middle ground stuff, okay? The outrage and all that. What I'm saying is that there needs to be a total rejection because it's reality warping stuff. It's 2 + 2 = 5. Okay. It's the end of the society that we know as we know it. And they're all tolerant. I'm saying the Christians are. They're tolerant. There's a tolerance. They call it a virtue. And I think it is in a sense. But what I'm saying here is that they're right. We don't accept it. We shouldn't be shy about that. And the criticism that I'm talking about that would be effective would be just simply not losing your nerve. Just not losing your nerve and saying no. Because it's true, we don't accept it, and we shouldn't accept it at all. Like all the way. None of it. Am I making sense here? Look, it shouldn't be accepted because it's reality breaking stuff, okay? And my point here is, well, I said my point. We shouldn't be shy about that. Because, look, they brought this up even on JLP show today. They brought up the Corinthians thing. Something about Corinthians and about the light not mixing with the dark. And it seems like the conservative, etc., they're okay with a little bit of mixing. Just leave us alone. Just leave the kids alone. They're okay with some mixing because they themselves have their own darkness. And so, oh, I can't judge. I was told I can't judge. Not understanding that calling something red because it's red and calling something blue because it's blue is not judging. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they talk about tolerance in the Bible, right? Paul told the Christians to conduct themselves with faith towards your brothers, with all lowliness and gentleness and long-suffering, bearing with one another in love. There's something manly about that kind of tolerance, where you won't let someone else bother you. Just because someone is trans doesn't mean you're going to hate them, doesn't mean you're not going to talk to them. Just because someone is going through something and all that. That doesn't mean accept it. That does not mean accept, okay? Because the Bible also says, doesn't the Bible somewhere say life is not your own? Your life is not your own. It's not your body, your choice. You can't just let people destroy themselves and say it's what the, you know. And by let, I don't mean go up to these people and try and convince them they're wrong. No, I'm just saying, how do you want to order and build your society? How do you want to order your neighborhood and your community? Okay? If that's what you're going through, that's what you're going through. If that's what you're into. But that doesn't mean you can go and have the drag queen shows, all this stuff, and the general acceptance of it. That doesn't mean these companies can then force it on us and do emotional terrorism where they'll show us some show, then hook us, and we're like, oh, this is a pretty good show. And then throw gay stuff and trans stuff in our face. Anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. It's that there's a fear in this Christian conservative world where they want it's kind of like a middle ground, but it doesn't exist, especially not in this scenario, not in this topic. Okay, it's not just don't do it to the kids. No. It's totally, abjectly, completely, we must reject it. All the way. And people are losing their minds too. That's the thing. People are losing their minds and going crazy. Okay, there's anger. There's insanities. We got these trans people doing shootings. I heard there was another trans person who was like, who had some plans to do some shooting, and they got that person. Talked about it on the JLP show. They called it Trans Day of Vengeance. You got hopped up transgenders, trannies. We got hopped up trannies. Sorry, had to do the Trump. We got hopped up trannies. I don't know what I should be. Sorry, YouTube. Calling for violence on Twitter openly. Okay. And so people aren't saying, and we need a real solution. That's why I like what we're doing here with Bond. That's why I'm about this. That's why I'm here doing this, because it's true, the message about anger, and it's true that it's evil, and it's true that's the only way out of all this, not this gun control stuff. I was talking about the Country Music Awards, right? This 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 Ballerini there doing this call for real action after the Nashville school shooting. And what real action she's talking about is this banning of guns everywhere. And here's what I'll admit. I don't think it'll stop school shootings, okay? I don't think it would bring down gun violence. I'm sorry. I don't think it would stop school shootings, but it might mitigate it. It, in fact, might lower the occurrence of it. I think so. I think it will. I think it might even lower the occurrence of so-called gun violence. But it's a false solution because the anger's still there. And it's not going to stop it. Someone could still find a gun and shoot up a school. Someone could still use another item and hurt people. You've heard all that before. But the point here is that men care about real solutions, the reality of things, okay? Not band-aids. That's all this is. And there's at least a hope. There's at least a hope that we could do it right. Because going into this gun control stuff is just giving into fear. It's just giving into fear and saying, you know what? I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen to my kids. So you know what? I'll give up my rights because I'm afraid. And the thing is, that's the Faustian bargain. You're presented with, okay, well, you probably will lower gun violence, at least to a certain degree in some areas. I bet you it would. It'd be harder to get them, straight up. That's just the truth. But it's giving in. It's giving in to fear. Same thing with this. Well, anyways, that's all I got to say about that. Okay. What else did I want to say about this? That's it. Anyways, that's what's up with all that in Canada and everything. It's the same with banning porn. So we really think it's going to stop the sexual degeneracy, right? Yeah, Steve Strzok. You make a good point there. You make a good point. Everyone trying to do too much. See, Troy, I told you, black culture, trying to do too much. You trying to do too much. You doing too much. That's black. I'm telling you, everybody talks like this now. Boy, you doing too much. Everybody's a little black, okay? Stay black because it's the most important thing. Boy, and looks like they look, boy, man, you doing too much. All right, so let me take a little breaky poo here. Gonna get the tunes rolling, get the vibes kind of going a little bit. I'm gonna turn on the AC or something, and we're gonna get into something fun related to what I talk about. A little bit more fun, and of course your calls. 760-515-3855. Gonna get down here, okay? How's your Friday going? I hope it's going well. A lot of people in chat say, no, I don't want to be black. I want to stay white. All right, y'all. Kick back, relax. You're flying next stream. We're gonna do something fun right after this tiny break.
Rocky heart, breaking teeth, and apple core, been a long oh, this rotting been a long oh, this rotting I've had enough of fighting. I don't even know the reason why we
What's up, y'all? Thanks for the patience. I'm gonna get to this call here. I got a caller on the air. Your name and where you calling from?
Oh, what's up? It's 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒍𝒔.
Steve Strack, New Jersey. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing amazing, man. Good show tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. No, 'cause actually, I wrote a comment in the chat just before. I said, you know what? I want to kind of like elaborate on it.
Okay, please.
So, I had a conversation this week with a guy that I work with, and we were talking about banning guns. You know, the same conversation you just had.
Okay.
And it hit me in the moment. I'm like, it's the same thing with porn. You know, everyone's like, oh, ban porn.
Oh, yeah. I remember your comment. I read it.
These things. But I'm like, the last time I checked, you don't need porn to do dirty things. You know, it's one means to get that out and just, you know, get into that stuff. But I don't know. I think we're past the point of using banning as a means of fighting against evil. You know, like, I just don't think it's going to work in this day and age because it's been too exposed, to say the least.
You make a good point. I think you're right about that. What do you think about this? I heard that during Prohibition, when they banned alcohol or whatever, that drinking went down. But so what do you think about that first?
So I think it'll stop it in the interim.
Okay.
But again, if people still want to escape from something, they'll either find means and methods to keep it going, or they'll just put it into something else.
Fair enough. I hear two things. I hear that people just went underground with the drinking, but I've heard that it also brought it down. And you make a good point, because it's too far gone for something like that, because I'm not even against building a society the way we want it. If we were a Christian society, we'd build it the way we want, ban the things we don't want. But how can we even think or talk about banning things when we're not even willing to deal with, how you say, the stuff going on inside of us already, that we're going to turn to something else? People talk about, oh, there's got to be a national divorce. We got to move away and make our own society and our own community. And I'm not even against that. But how can we even start having that conversation before you are even able to deal with, kind of not speaking well here, but before we're even able to deal with the stuff going on inside of us? We can't, we're skipping steps here. We're not willing to do that work first.
Exactly. And so even for me, like, I know for the past couple of years, from doing the silent prayer and overcoming anger and overcoming all these things, like, all this, you think you have to fight, you think you have to go out and do this, you think you have to go out and do that. It's giving Christianity such a bad name. Yeah. And it's making us seem like goobers. And it's like, listen, I know when I was looking at the stuff that people do now, like years ago, that's why I didn't want to become a Christian. I was like, I wanted to overcome stuff, and I was doing it the secular way. But I looked at Christianity, I'm like, y'all are gay. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
You know? And as I've done it and I've overcome it, and I've started to meet a lot of people, and I've called you before, and I said this before, but I say there's a lot of people that, you know, people are more Christian than they realize, because they do live from the heart, and they don't live from the intellect, thinking that they have to do things in a certain way. So it's like, my thing is right now, I think the reason why Christianity keeps losing is because people are stuck in their heads. Yeah. And they think that we got to rely on these old tactics. And I think I've called you once before, and I said it. And I kind of think I'm getting to what these things are, which is, it's a new war, which means it's a new battle, which means we have to use new tactics. I don't think banning as an action is going to work. I almost think, and this is kind of crazy, that I think we need to accelerate the evil to let it burn out and show everybody, like, the depths of it. And it kind of borderlines trauma, like, you can traumatize people with it, and that's why I don't fully agree with it. But it's kind of, you know, you got to think outside the box and say, all right, what else can we do, where it's like you have to kind of show people, like, listen, this is what evil is, now you're being exposed to it. Or I heard a guy once say, like, you know, my friends are doing X, Y, and Z drugs or drinking. I'm not going to tell them to stop. I'm actually going to accelerate it and give it to them so they hit rock bottom faster and say, I've had enough. And, like, their heart just wants to change. Dang. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think about that?
Okay. First reaction to what you're saying, It just seems like more of the same thing that you just mentioned. You just said no fighting. That sounds like more fighting. And I don't know. It's kind of like thinking you know what's best, because you might think you're helping someone, but you're bringing about another issue that you're not even aware of. It's like, let me go up to this trans person and say, "You dirty trans, you shouldn't be trans. Find Jesus," and then they just go deeper into it.
Right.
I don't know if that. I just don't know if you know. I don't know. If, Lord 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒐 says you're gonna kill your friends. You're gonna kill them before they. You're gonna kill them before they.
Listen, I know. I'm just spitballing things.
But I kind of understand what you're saying.
Thinking about.
I've heard some of this. In fact, I've heard it called, I think pejoratively, accelerationist or something like that.
Yes.
I've heard that. Yeah. And I don't necessarily even disagree with some stuff I've heard about all that, but I'm just not too aware. I just don't know. But my first reaction to exactly what you said there, it just sounds like you might end up killing your friend before time. You don't know.
No, I know. I'm not going to feed
right.
my friends drugs. Like that's not reasonable to do. But I was just using it as like an extreme example.
Ooh, I gotta hit you with a JLP, a big hard. I gotta hit you with a JLP. Okay, I'm totally lifting, but you gotta steal like an artist. I am on his network. I think I'm allowed to do this.
Right.
Would God accelerate your whatever you're into?
No, he wouldn't actually. You're right.
But it's interesting what you're bringing up. It's interesting.
Right.
Provoking.
So, yeah, the reason why I bring it up though, why I kind of got on the whole like banning thing, is because I was just last week and I was looking up virtues.
Yeah.
Because people talk about being moral and virtuous and all this stuff, and like I never really looked it up. I'm like, let me see what this is all about. Because when you live by the Spirit, when you stay aware and you stay conscious, like my life's kind of going towards these things anyway. And when I looked up where celibacy falls in everything, chastity is actually before celibacy. So even before the chastity, there's prudence, and that's reasoning. And when I'm sitting there reading it and I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute. This is the stuff that Jesse talks about. It's that wait and see attitude. It's the observe. It's the, sometimes what you think you need to do in the moment is actually not warranted. And one example that I saw was, he interviewed a guy years ago, and this has stuck with me, where he said, if somebody walked into your house, because the guy was talking about honesty, and he said, if someone walked into your house and your wife hid under the bed, would you tell the robber where your wife is? And the guy's like, the guy said something so absurd. And he's like, why do you have to be so honest? He's like, because you have to be honest. That's what it means to be a Christian. And Jesse's like, what's wrong with you?
Right. It betrays common sense.
Right. But that is prudence. Prudence is that you won't do something foolish. Like, it's not like you're withholding the truth. It's just you see in the moment, this is dumb. Prudence. So that's why I'm thinking my thinking
I like
is still,
that word.
it's still right. But it's still in that ballpark of thinking like, all right, I'm standing back and watching and observing myself and seeing like what I almost did in the things that kind of happened that led to me crying out. Not the post anger and the post forgiveness and all that, but what led to wanting to forgive and wanting to cry out. It was that I just kind of binged. And it led me to a point where like I've had enough. I'm done. So that's where I'm trying to.
But I don't think you can cause that for someone. I think that's the only thing.
Right.
And I partly believe, because I've seen it in others, that you don't really need to suffer to wake up.
100%.
I'm not saying that's me, because I'm kind of stubborn, straight up. But I've seen people just raise right or just wake up. Like, they just don't need to. So you don't know what people need. That's really the point. You don't really know what people need. But, and like you said, in fact, exactly what you said, if you were just to have that awareness, that calmness that you're talking about, that you had with yourself, you might in fact say the right thing or do the right thing that person needs, and you wouldn't even know. Right. You wouldn't even know that that's what you're doing.
Right. So I talked to Jesse once about this, and that So talk about like the whole thoughts running through your head in crazy situations. I have a coworker who, not to put personal business out there, but a coworker that they're something that they do would quote unquote offend a Christian, to just be non-personal and just be blanket about it. And I had an interaction with this coworker once, and bro, the thoughts in my head were like, you can't hang out with her, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, oh, you're not a Christian, you're not this. And I just sat there and I was watching that and listening to her, and she said something that like I've resonated with. I'm like, wow, oh my goodness, I'm no different than you, because you are going through something so crazy, and I can like see it in her eyes. Like she was stuck, but yet she was not ready to hear anything to help her overcome that. And that's where I realized, like, when Jesse talks about the whole people love their hell, that's that. People still don't realize that they love it. But again, I sat there and like, whoa, hold on a second. That was like a real big change for me. I'm like, I can't judge at all, because how am I any different than her?
That's it right there.
She wants to overcome and she doesn't know.
That's it right there, man. I think that's love. You in the moment will see what's up. You'll see what people are going through. You're like, wow, I'm not going to reach this person. I'm not, or I don't have the words. I don't know what I'm talking about. You'll see what's going on, and that'll cause you to act, or at least act differently. Deep.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. No, I gotta say I agree with that.
Nice. Yeah, I was just spitballing before about the whole accelerationist thing.
No, I know. I like that. I like spitballing. I like spitballing because I'm kind of discovering things too as we're talking.
Right. But I think that's love, though. Just like you said, is you don't need to always bring up all this divisive stuff. I mean, there really is a place of you come from the heart versus coming from the mind, and you can still fall into the trap of doing the silent prayer and being still, and you're still in your mind the entire time. Yeah. And I realized it took me a long time to realize that. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm still not even coming from the heart. Like, I really don't love people. I actually still have that anger, but I'm quote unquote intellectually even better than the other Christians, but yet I'm still coming from the same place.
Right on, man.
Have you ever experienced that?
Totally, man. Like 100%.
Nice. Yeah.
But seeing it is everything. That's everything right there.
Yep.
It's gone in a moment, Right on,
yeah,
Steve.
I appreciate you taking my time, Nick. That was
anytime,
really cool,
anytime.
man. Thank you.
A pleasure. Moving the wheels, sir. Thank you.
Take it.
Oops. Sorry, Steve. Muted him in the middle of his goodbye. But thank you. Yeah, you know what? He brings up something interesting, and I didn't plan on talking about this, so I don't have it like prepared or anything, but it reminded me of an interaction I had recently, and kind of an example on, I don't know, I think this was a moment of having, dare I say, love or a little bit of light in a situation. I was talking to Rebecca Lauren, and you might know this person. Let me look it up. Anybody ever seen A Boxed Life? The Boxed Life? Let's do this a little bit, just a little bit. The Boxed Life was an internet, like sort of internet documentary. I think it was made by Frank Hassel. He's an internet guy, and he did this like 20-minute sort of little short documentary, little insight, little look into the life of this person. This person who goes by Rebecca Lauren. I forget what his real name is because he believes he's a transgender and believes he's a girl, a woman. This person, Rebecca Lauren, is a Twitch streamer, does chess, does gaming, but he's not a big streamer at all. We're talking like no views, no live viewers, and so got some attention after The Box Life a little bit, but really not a lot. And so it's like this deep in the internet archive story of this one transgender person that Frank Hassel dug up, put together in a little short thing. And in this video, maybe we can watch a little bit of it. We see how this person is living at home with their father, and it shows the breakdown in their relationship It shows a lot of things. This person on hormones.
My estrogen part of my HRT. Okay, so I am super happy. Oh my god, this is happening.
Anybody seen this? You guys know what I'm talking
happening.
about? It's some super old video, as 𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒍� says. 𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒍�. I've never seen that name. Welcome. Anyways, the explosive part is this part where Rebecca Lauren, this guy, blows up on his father. His father, who's clearly trying to have a relationship with his transgender daughter, so-called. And he just blows up. And they're swearing.
Oh, this
Why am I a part of the conversation with a Why'd you
daughter.
What the hell? Stop.
What am I doing?
You're doing this.
You guys remember this video?
video?
Oh, sorry, caller. Call me back. Call me back. I'll get to you. Call me back.
What is that?
I have no idea. Yeah, Wong. Stop it.
Look at me.
He's got a wild, silly dad.
Yeah, you are. You were reacting.
Anyways, I'm going to show you a little bit more of this to give you context, but I was talking to this person, Rebecca Lauren.
The clip.
No, it's not me.
The pizza's
Oh, there it is.
So they order pizza. He's trying to hang out on his son's, his transgender daughter. He calls him my transgender daughter. He's trying his best, like Troy said, to stop. His father should stop lying to him. That's not love. So true. But you can understand what this guy's going through. You know, this is my child. This is my child. I'm going to try and show them love by accepting what they're doing. Hey, caller, I'm going to get right to you in a moment here. Just 1 second. But you can understand that that's what's going on here. But that's what's happening in a larger scale, okay? So anyways, he gets the pizza, and he tells, here it says in the caption, tells pizza guy about transgender daughter.
Yes. I don't know why you're outing me to people.
And a person, and of
I
course,
think I just got a live new
Rebecca
follower,
gets
guys. Like
mad.
the pizza delivery guys. Like, see you.
they get the pizza.
Yeah, I can feel it just sucking my butt.
Okay, whoa.
Of course it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, right here.
That's really good pizza.
I think right here.
Of course it's good.
Yeah, I don't know why you're talking to the guy about like you could said like ever since I transgendered, like that has nothing to do with my viewers and my stream. It's just part of my story. I don't know why you said that. I don't know why you said ever since. Like what the hell about my transgender stuff? That's really
Okay.
the delivery guy. That's like private information. I mean, I talk about it all the time, but I mean, like I don't know what you're going on about.
Did you not see the card he gave me? I give it back to him.
You have to talk like that.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
It's like sometimes you just say things and it's a little inappropriate.
Well, he was talking about. Ready to freaking to carry me out, or
He's trying his best,
I mean,
okay?
I just love people.
You know, you usually don't tell other people about my stuff.
That's different because she gave me a card. Her card in the conversation.
Say my
We're not
Right here.
standing there.
No, why'd you tell?
You're
some-
interpreting.
No, I heard you say my transgender daughter. What the fuck, dude?
Because that's what
You're not supposed to out people like that.
you live with me.
I know, but I mean, you're not allowed to do that.
I am.
You're not allowed to
You
say,
live with
like, oh yeah, you know, my daughter, she's transgender. Like, why do you have to do that?
I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's what you said. Why'd you bring up my Twitch stream?
And then he gets mad. He gets mad that he said trans daughter. Just say your daughter. Just say your daughter.
Fucking supposed to out, but I mean, I'm just saying, guy.
On that red is us.
I didn't bring it up. My daughter. You say my own fucking daughter.
Exactly.
Then why'd you say my transgender daughter? Why'd you just say my daughter?
I'm doing my best.
Get the fuck out!
Okay.
Get the fuck out of my room!
No, there's no reason to scream.
Get the fuck out, you fucking drunk!
Anyways, you see what's going on here? Anyways, I'm getting lost in the weeds here. I found this person's stream one day, the other day, just recently. They had no viewers, okay? I was their only viewer for a while. And I went in because I recognized them. And they're doing some gaming. And I'm like, wow, this is the Box Life person. This is the Box Life. And I'm chatting. I'm like, what's up? Oh, da-da-da. And I remember from the documentary, this person had not found work, all this stuff. Anyways, I saw the temptation to bring up your dad and trans and all that. But we just had a conversation about life, about work. And this person was clearly just in the grips of anger because anything, if I said anything a little bit wrong, they'd be like, I'm going to ban you, da da da. And I'm like their only viewer. They're like, I need to ban you, da da da. I asked, because they're like, I'm on unemployment. And they started crying. My life is falling apart. I'm on unemployment. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, well, why can't you work? An honest, sincere question. They're like, I need to time you out for that. Anyways, all this to say what? All this to say is just, this Rebecca person talked about some pretty interesting things. They said how people scapegoat him and use him as a way to ignore their own issues. Said some pretty interesting things that are true. And I don't think I just talked to them like a normal person. Okay. Even though it's online and chat, all this to say what is just, there's a different way of operating. Sometimes it's not always blah, 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 this and that. Anyways, I told him, and it ended up being a conversation about anger and the silent prayer. In my opinion, and I don't really know, and maybe it's not for me to know, in my opinion, I think it left a little something. It made them think a little bit. Crazy. But anyways, I just want to show you that. Anyways, I'm going to get into something fun here or whatever. I've got some other topics, but first I've got a caller. Caller, you're on the air. Where are you calling from? And your name,
LA?
please.
Rob from LA.
What's up, Rob? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think what scares me is that Biden and the White House are supporting these transvestites, transsexuals, whatever, and they are really the most dangerous extremist group in the country today. The transvestite rioters, like they did in Tennessee, this other creep they caught in, I don't know, Colorado or somewhere, he was on the verge of taking out 3 schools and killing a bunch of people, transvestites. They're actually a religion. They are actually a religion now. And I believe they get their power from Satan. It's demonic. And what scares me is that Biden and the government, the full force of the federal government, support these creeps. And I just wondered what you thought about it.
I don't think you're wrong. I've been saying they're all in. The corporations, the government, they're all in this new way, and this new way, the new culture. So I don't think you're wrong about that.
I think.
But why would you say it scares you?
Because how do we fight back? Some of the state legislatures like Tennessee and Florida and maybe Texas, they're fighting back, but they're not getting any support from the courts, very little. And the federal government is all powerful. And this is why I say it scares me, because we cannot mainstream this evil from the devil himself into the American culture. So again, How do we fight it?
So if there's nothing you can do to fight against it, and there's nothing you could do, then why are you worried about it?
Because I don't want it to become mainstream. For example, in Canada, they're trying to pass a law. If you criticize these people, transsexuals, you can be arrested, jailed, and fined $25,000. Now, I don't see that far away from coming here to this country with the Biden gang. And that's where I'm scared, in a way.
Okay.
It violates freedom of speech, okay, and they're going after the kids.
The real Mr. Mad in the chat says something interesting. I mean, it's already mainstream. It's already mainstream. It's already here. And you're saying there's nothing you could do about it. So then why be worried about it?
Well, because, for example, in Tennessee, they said no to transsexuals on girls' sporting teams. That's an example. Secondly, a child in Tennessee cannot, before he's 18, get mutilated to become another sex. These are ways you fight these demons. But so in where was that? Where was that? Tennessee.
So in Tennessee, before 18, you can't do it, but after 18, you can.
Well, I think you can do it anywhere in this country after 18.
And what do you think
I
about
think-
that?
I'm against it.
Even after
I
18?
don't think it should be ever allowed.
Right.
But especially for the kids. They're coming after the kids. These devils are coming after the kids. Now, you could say it's mainstreamed already, so you could also say evil is mainstreamed already in this country. Pardon?
Yes, it is. I'd say number one about the fear and the worry. I don't think you should fear or worry about things you can't change or can't do anything about, which might sound weird. It might sound counterproductive. It might sound like, wait, so just let them make these laws where I can't say something and I'll get fined? Sort of. I'm not saying yes or no on that, but internally you can't be worried about something you can't control. But on how we fight back, sorry, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, go. I was just going to say, we have freedom of speech. How can they fine you $25,000 for saying that, for example, they're grooming our kids, or a man is a man if he's born a man? This is considered hate speech in Canada.
Yeah,
Or
they're doing a lot more than that here. We're talking about elections aren't even fair. They're weird now. Election shenanigans. We're talking about free speech already is gone with hate speech laws and different things here already. And partly I think is because you got to understand, like you just said, I forget where, but they said past 18, like before 18, you can't do it. This is what I was talking about earlier about having the nerve to just say no and not accept it. Because I think ultimately, when you say we got to fight back, who's fighting back? The Christians, conservatives. Ultimately, they don't want to fight back. Ultimately, they don't have the nerve to say no outrightly, wholesale to the whole thing. And so I think that's part of it.
I think Trump would. He wouldn't tell the country that we got your back to these maniacs, these revolutionary criminals. That's what they really are. They're mentally ill.
I don't think that's a wrong description, revolutionary criminal. And I gotta say, I agree. I don't think Trump would. At least he wouldn't accept it as a norm. Okay.
Right. But you said who can fight? Okay, the parents tried to fight back in certain areas of the country, and the FBI got sicked on them. The state legislatures, not just Tennessee, but Texas, Florida, and other places, and they got insurrected, let's say, by this mob of Satan people. I call them Satan people, these transvestites. And so when we try to fight back, here comes the mob, and we don't have the backing of the federal government. The good guys, I'm talking about the parents, the Christians, the whites. We don't have the backing of the federal government. Trump had our back, but this demented idiot who's currently in the White House hates us. He hates white Christian America. Well, Biden does. But he is a puppet, in my view, of Obama and the communists. And I don't use that term lightly. Like President Trump said, they're not socialists anymore. We're dealing with communists. Not to say that they're members of the Communist Party, but in thought they're communists.
I don't think you're wrong, man. I don't think you should say that lightly either. I think I understand the weight behind what you're saying there. But listen, I really don't know. Number one, I don't exactly know how to fight back in that sense, how you're saying against the federal government, for example, against corporations. I mean, how do you do that? But if there's any indicator on what we've seen from conservatives, from the Christians now, is that they aren't fighting. They're saying they're okay with the trans stuff past 18. They're okay with the gay, with don't say gay in the schools. They're okay with that after the 4th grade in Florida, the so-called conservative red gunshine state. The point here is that they're not willing to do the painful thing. And it's going to be painful, right? Because this has been growing for so long. It's like the relationship between blacks and whites. That's grown and grown and grown so much so that should we just stop and say no today, it's going to be painful to go back. So part of it is being okay with that pain and doing the hard thing and not being liked and not mixing the light with the dark. But you got to do that first. You got to first do that with yourself. Am I making sense?
Well, explain
But I
that.
honestly don't know the answer to your question. But go ahead.
Well, no, I wanted to say that this transvestite, transsexual thing started strongly when they okayed gay marriage in 2015. You didn't hear about this kind of insanity. I mean, it was out there in places like Frisco and maybe New York, but you didn't hear about drag queen shows at schools before 2000.
Right.
It was after they legalized gay marriage.
And now what do you hear conservatives say? They're okay with it. You never hear them make the argument that the same arguments they make against the transgender stuff. It's sick, it's wrong, it's against God. You don't hear them making those arguments about homosexuality, gay marriage, and all that. They gave up on that.
Don't forget, it failed gay marriage initiatives in every state that it was on the ballot in. And then the communists in the Supreme Court, and I'm not saying all of them because some of them didn't vote for it, but they voted to legalize this insanity of gay marriage, and that's where the slippery slope to where we're at today, in my view, was because they allowed for the gay marriage to be legitimized, and then this insanity now where they're actually grooming our children and don't even deny it. They don't even deny their own intentions. They're evil. They figure there's no consequence. They kill 3 children in Tennessee at the Christian school, and Biden doesn't even visit the families. Instead, he says to the world, "Well, we got your back." To the maniacs out there, basically, they endorse terrorism.
And right, endorsing terrorism, and even worse, they're just justifying and going along with their issues, making it worse, and the issue being that insanity, that anger, which is what causes you to do those things in the first place. Because we've seen shooters from, to be fair here, we've seen shooters from all sides of the political aisle. We've seen shooters, school shooters, young people who were raised by liberals, raised by conservatives, who posted about pro-Trump, we've seen it from all sides. So I don't disagree with you, though, that is it really that surprising that transgender people who are insane enough and angry enough to believe these things are out there wanting to commit violence? I don't think you're wrong about that. But we've seen it from everywhere. And so it's beyond all that.
Right, but I don't know of any pro-Trump mass murderers that I know of. I can't think of any that was pro-Trump that went out and did mass killing anywhere that I've heard of.
Fair enough. I don't know if I've heard it either, but I've heard that there were somewhat conservative or something like that. There was someone recently. I was looking it up for the Hake Report, incidentally, and it said that they had some postings or manifesto or whatever. It was conservative or something like that, right wing.
But don't forget, the federal government considers white supremacy to be the biggest domestic terrorist. That's an outright lie. And it'd be hard to even pinpoint where they've done anything in the last, 10 years, any white supremacist attack. I could be forgetting one, but they are not the biggest threat in any way to domestic terrorism in this country. It's an excuse for Biden to get the black vote and the liberal vote.
You might not be wrong about that. I can't quite, in this moment, think of it either, so I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary. If you're white, Christian, heterosexual, you are a second-class citizen now, the way I look at it. Biden is just a puppet. He's demented, and Harris is evil. She went and met with those 2 black guys in Tennessee that got kicked out of the representatives for leading a riot, and she sided with them. Don't forget, she raised bail money for the BLM rioters. Harris did, and she's
right. Yeah, she did. Had that fund, like a Black Lives Matter bail fund for criminals. Exactly. It's crazy. But listen,
and also she
go ahead.
These 2 black guys in Tennessee that are criminals. The ones that rioted, that was elected representatives, and they rioted with these trans people, and they insurrected in Tennessee, but they kept it down. But she's meeting with the enemies, basically.
All the way, man, all the way. Am I too Am I being what's the word? Am I being too much here by saying that I don't like hearing you say, "Oh, it's really scary. It's really scary." Something about that doesn't sound right.
Well, South Africa. Think about South Africa today. Now, I don't know if they have a problem with these trans idiots, but racially speaking,
Yeah.
at one time it was the greatest place on earth, the greatest country in Africa. And today they don't even have power. Half the time the blacks control it, and everything's falling apart. Maybe that's how it'll go here. I don't know. But you ask about why be scared? Look at South Africa.
Is this just a pipe dream, or am I totally just playing fantasy here by saying that I don't like hearing you say, "Hey, are you white?"
Yes.
A white man saying, "Oh, I'm so scared." I know it's not good. I wouldn't want to have South, like, really truly have South Africa around us where our lives or white people's lives are in danger. That would be scary, sure, in that sense. But hearing you say that, I don't know. Am I being weird by saying that I don't like hearing you say that? Because it just sounds like the wrong energy. Like, I wish we could be Steely Dan in all situations, but maybe I'm being weird about that.
No, not at all. I think that some of the callers to the hate show are these black Hebrews. Not all. I guess there's some of them that are good. I don't know. But some of them are openly anti-white.
Yeah.
I mean, and you could see what they...
And this has some pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, what their hope for the future is, and it's a dark future.
Right.
And it's scary. It's scary. And I see that coming. And these trans people are all part of this thing, all part of this revolution to destroy America. To them, the Constitution is just a piece of paper written by a bunch of old white guys. They don't have any respect for this country. I don't mean all of them, but the left-wing criminals and the transvestites and the rest of them that hate white America, white Christian America. And I know there's minorities that are on our side because they see the truth. But, we're at a crossroads, in my view. If President Trump could get back in, that could put the brakes on this. But
hopefully,
you see how they're trying.
I believe he represents that. If there was if we were gonna, there seems to be like a train and it's rolling and it's picking up steam big time towards the direction we don't want. If there was any hope in stopping that or turning something around or doing things the right way, I feel like Trump represents that. Whatever you may think of him politically, in some way, shape, or form, for the people on this side, Christians, conservatives, whatever. I think he represents that and I don't even like saying it final like that, like as if I know, but he kind of represents like a final try to do things right and to effect some kind of change.
Well, why do you think they're going after him so hard?
Because yes, go ahead.
Things?
No, totally. Yeah, that's what I was going to get into next. He represents the old way. He also represents a sort of dying breed in America. Yeah. And that's really, really what they hate. And his crime was ever thinking he could stand in the way of the new way of their plans. And that's really, truly his crime. And so he kind of represents that, a dying breed and a dying of the old way of doing things.
I would call it the death of white America. This is what
I think that too, partly.
Yeah. Well, he stands in the way between how fast it's going to happen. Yeah. With an open border, Biden is ensuring our fate. I mean, in other words, we're doomed. The open border alone.
But I wish you could. Maybe I'm LARPing here. Maybe I'm playing fantasy here. But I wish we could be Steely Dan, even in the face of a crumbling empire. Is that too fantastical?
No, not at all. What I do is I pray a lot.
Oh yeah, do you do Jesse Lee's silent prayer out of curiosity?
Well, no, I just do my own. I mean, the Catholic prayer, Our Father, Hail Mary. But I still pray and ask God to save the white race, save, some of these police officers in jail, the J6ers. I pray for them. Believe me, everybody should pray for those guys. They are truly political prisoners, truly. And they're going to arrest another 1,000 patriots. The crummy, worthless FBI.
Oh, is that true?
I just saw it on TV yesterday. It was. They've already announced they're going to be picking up 1,000 more American citizens who were at the Capitol that day.
Okay.
Merely being there.
Wow.
That's Stalinist. That's communism.
It is a different country, a new way. Even in the few years I've been here, I mean, I was born in America, anchor baby, as an anchor baby, and I moved away when I was a kid, but I came back here 2019. And just between 2019 to now, the country has changed like crazy. And it's kind of
250 would be the key year because that's when they legalized the gay marriage. I think that and the George Floyd problem were the two factors in what could be our downfall. The white guilt of George Floyd, which there doesn't need to be white guilt, but the white guilt from that stupid situation and the gay marriage have rotted our culture, rotted it away. It's rotting it away. There's still hope as long as we pray. I believe we can still hopefully change this. I think actually Trump is a gift from God. Look at what he's been through. Look at all the hell they put him and his family through, and he still fights for us. Even with, like Jesus, with what they did to him. I'm not saying
totally.
Jesus.
I don't even, I don't disagree, man. I don't disagree.
Right. I mean, but he gets his strength from God. He takes no pay from the government for being president. He actually lost money as a president because he wasn't with his businesses, and they've tried to shake the man down. If these demons had their way, they'd put Trump right in the tombs in New York City. That's the worst hellhole jail on earth, maybe. It's one of the worst, and that's where they would want to put Trump if these criminals get their way. I think Alvin Bragg is a criminal. What he's trying, he can't even think of a charge to charge President Trump with.
I can't see it any other way than just political. Going after him.
I can only imagine what's on that jury, on that grand jury. Can you imagine the characters they probably got on there from Manhattan, where everybody's a commie or a liberal? Did you see what happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene when she went to the thing on Tuesday, the indictment? She had to be protected by a bunch of big, tough bodyguards from the animals that were out there to get her. You didn't happen to see that at all?
I think I might have seen something like that.
Yeah, it was terrible. A disgrace to America. I don't know. New York is the city of evil, from what I've seen. Do you think that Trump will win?
I think so, yeah. I think so. I really don't know. I hope so.
Well, I know, but I hope he can. If he can get all these rigged juries and all these crazy things that they're throwing at him, I think he's only going to build strength. I
personally think because I keep hearing that this is just going to help him. This is going to make him president. This is just going to help him. It's going to, propel him to the presidency because it's going to rally everyone behind him. They're going to see what's going on. I think that's somewhat true. I just don't think that the Democrats or whatever should be underestimated like that. I don't think I think they've thought of that. And the thing is, in my opinion, I think that they're just putting their bets. Okay, they're putting their bets all in. They believe they have more people on their side. They know this is going to galvanize his supporters. They know it's going to wedge people even further. It's going to make people decide, and they're placing their bets, and they're thinking people are going to pick their side. And thanks to immigration, demographics change, thanks to people being in a dream state, drugged up, porned up, whatever, they're betting that it's going to work.
Well, consider this. Since Trump was indicted, he's raised over $10 million. Some of that is my money because I donate to the man, and I'm a poor guy. But I scratch up whatever I can to give it to President Trump. For what they're doing to that man, he's worth it. He should stay in everybody's prayers, and if anybody can afford it, they should help him out. Because they're going to try to rig the next election. Well, they're already rigging it with these fraudulent charges. Now they're going to. Wouldn't surprise me that they rig it again if he gets on the ballot. If they don't, God only know. I don't even want to say it.
Well,
but if they're able to stop him from running.
Yeah, can this stop him from running? I heard that he could still be president.
Not if you're convicted.
If you're a convicted felon, you can't run for president?
I don't think so.
I heard you can.
I'm not sure on that one. But there's got to be a strategy to what they're doing, knowing something out of all these cases. Even if one goes through on this whole crappy thing, they're going to make it so he can't run. Or they're going to tie him up in court next year so much he can't run. He can't devote his time to debates and campaigning. And if one of these commie judges slaps a gag order on him, that would be a criminal act. A presidential candidate gets gagged by a creepy little judge.
It's a different country, man. It really is.
That didn't happen. Good.
It really is a totally different country, man. Rob, thank you, man.
Did you see that Salvadoran president said, the president of El Salvador? He said America should never preach to other countries about being democratic after what they did.
He's not wrong about that, don't you think? There's a moral
I like that guy.
Yeah, I mean, they State Department, the government, they play a moral high ground. Like, look at Ukraine, Russia. They play this moral high ground, but yeah, they definitely don't have it. They lost it a long time ago. Rob, man, I got to move the wheels. I spent a lot of time with you, but I do totally appreciate your call.
I thank you. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you, too. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Moving the wheels. Rob sounds a lot like a caller. He sounds a lot like a different name. And I don't know if it's the same guy, but that guy is not banned from my show or anything. Just don't call and talk about if you were banned on a different show or anything like that. Don't talk about that. You're not banned on my show. So if he just sounded like someone. But anyways, happy Easter. Holy. Good Friday. Isn't it bad Friday? Jesus died. Sad Friday. Good Sunday. No, it's Good Friday, right? We got Glizzes in the chat. What's up? People want to talk about Glizza politics. People want to hear about the Glizza community. No, not right now, y'all. Relax. What's up, Mari Ubaldo? Feliz Pascua. Happy Easter. Pleasure. Be Swelta. Woman. I think woman is a brand new flight attendant on nickstream. It's a pleasure. Thank you. What else are you guys saying in the chat? First, I got a caller. Caller, where are you calling from and what's your name?
Oh, hey Nick, how's it going? It's Alex. I called you before a few times. I'm the truck driver.
From Texas? No, you don't like to say where you're from.
Yeah, correct. I don't want to dox myself. I'm all over the place anyway, so every day I'm in a different city.
No problem. Welcome, Alex. Pleasure. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good show, man. I've been listening. Very interesting. Good show too. You know.
Thank you, sir.
When are you going? Well, I guess it's hard to tell, right? Like when you guys when you go every day.
You know, I'll be quite honest with you. These past 2, maybe even 3 weeks, I've started the week off telling myself, okay, I'm gonna try and do, if not 5, at least 3 streams or something. And I start the week off, and it's just so much stuff. Anyway, I don't want to complain though. It's coming, okay?
Oh, okay, cool, man. Yeah. No, I think you'll do a great job. You know.
Thank you.
I mean, you've been doing a great job, so it's
appreciate
been
it.
Enjoyable show.
I'll be doing more.
Yeah, no. So I don't want to derail the topic of.
No, talk about what you like. We've been talking too much trans stuff. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if I'm also like a huge flight simulator.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, even though I drive a truck, but I actually enjoy flying.
You hit the trucking simulators too? I should do a show from a truck simulator one of these days.
That would be the last thing I would want to do. Like,
right. You work all day, do a truck, and then you come home and you play a truck simulator. That
10 hours of driving and then just turning the computer on to do more. No. I'm sure some people do though. Funny. But because I know you play I think you have the Microsoft Flight Simulator, right?
I do. It's been crashing lately. Right now I don't have it going. But yes, I do. I do hit the flight simulator for the show. I think it's fun. I think it's unique.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So my question was, have you ever played this game called Ace Combat?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a pretty. I had a. Let me think. Let me look it up and see if it's the one I know. This is a pretty in-depth like simulator, right?
No, Ace Combat is it's more like an action.
Oh, I'm thinking
type
of
of
something
game.
else. I'm thinking of something that
But
starts with a D.
it's basically
DCS.
you know you fly and then you just strike targets or you battle other airplanes. But it's very very good.
I'm thinking of DCS World. You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
I
The
believe
Battle
it's a
Combat
pretty in-depth
Simulator.
simulator, and I had a roommate at one time who was an engineer who was really into it, and he had like 3 screens. He had all the peripherals, and he was really good because this stuff is pretty in-depth. If I'm correct, like he's basically a fighter jet pilot, but I don't know how. No, I've never played Ace Combat though.
Oh man! All right. So here's the thing. Let me get it for you. The game.
Oh, you want to get it for me?
Well,
I'll play it on stream.
I'm assuming. Do you have a like a Steam account?
I do. And I also have a
okay.
yoke. I got a yoke. I was gifted, very generous gift from the real Mr. Mad. He gave me like a Thrustmaster yoke and throttle control.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's how I fly the nickstream. That's how I fly the Anchor Baby Airlines plane.
Well, I let me gift you the Ace Combat 7.
That's awesome,
the latest
man.
one.
You know, I would be very grateful. Thank you. I might even do it on stream. Do a little Ace Combat.
It's
See if we can strike some
action
targets.
So yeah, how would I be able to send you the code? Because I'll buy it, and they'll, I'm gonna buy it as a gift. So they'll.
That's
give me a
awesome,
code
man. Thank you very much. Can you email me?
Yeah. That's what I was wondering.
Radio at @JesseLeePeterson.com. That's my new
have
email.
Radio
at JesseLeePeterson.com.
All right, I'm just saving it.
That's
here.
super cool, man. Thanks. Maybe I'll do a little strike targeting on stream one of these days. Might be fun.
Yeah,
I've never played
I
it, so
think
I can't promise. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you'll enjoy it. It's not like a simulator. It's more like action.
Right, action.
But it's
Okay.
but it just shows you like how those how powerful those jets are. Those
Cool.
fighter jets.
That's super awesome, man. Thank you very much. You
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. I forgot. What do you fly? What do you fly in the flight simulator?
I like to. So this one recently came. They released the Top Gun. Have you seen the new Top Gun Maverick?
I did. No, I didn't.
Okay, so they have the F-14, and they have like a. Well, here's another funny thing because it's a Russian airplane called the Su.
Yeah, Su-50,
like the,
Su-57.
Yeah, so because it's like the
Sukhoi.
latest, stealth fighter for
Yeah.
the Russians, they kind of like censor it.
Really?
Yeah, that's how weak these people
They
are.
censor.
man.
So in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, there you encounter a Russian fighter jet, and they censor the Russian fighter jet out of what, anti-Russian politics.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
assuming it was because of that, because it's a Su-57, but they call it like a 5th generation stealth fighter.
Wow.
And
that's embarrassing.
that type of game is like very specific. Like they always name the
Yep.
planes.
Right.
They
Every
try
other
to
plane
stay,
has
like,
the full
very
name.
realistic.
Yeah, every other plane has the full name and everything.
Yeah, but because it's like, I guess because it's like the Russian, they like
Yeah.
censor it.
Is Microsoft still owned by Bill Gates?
I believe, yeah.
Weak. So sad.
No, but this game, this is for the Ace Combat game. That's
gotcha.
It's like a Japanese game.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense. The Japanese should be a little bit more based, weren't they? They were with the Axis. They should be cool. They should be cool with Russia. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong about that. They were against Russia.
Well, they went to war with the Russians.
Right. My bad.
Yeah.
Right on. Man, that's awesome. Yo, last thing here. You know what VATSIM is? You might like it. If you like Flight Simulator, you might want to join VATSIM. You can do like air traffic controller and talk to real people, enthusiasts who are doing the whole air traffic control thing. You got to do it all official.
Yeah, well, I've seen some YouTube videos where people do those, and like it's like people get really angry, right? I think I've seen some like reaction videos.
There's some
where people
reactions, yeah, because you got to be all official and say everything right.
Yeah, and then the other people, I don't know if it's a job. Do people get paid?
I don't think so. I think it's just enthusiasts, just people having fun.
Yeah, and I just like flying around
Right on.
and blowing stuff up.
Right on, man. Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. It's
Yeah,
it's a
I'll
pleasure.
send you
Thank for your call.
I'll send you the code, It'll be like, say like 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎, and
Right
it'll
on.
just be the code so you can just get it from Steam.
Well, I accept. Thank you very much.
All right, have a good night.
My
Bye-bye.
pleasure. Okay, thank you. Moving the wheels. Thank you, thank you. Sal says, Nick, I have not forgotten about your sparkly blouse. I was hoping that I was free from that. But just because you said that, I'll be sure to... I got to bring my sparkly blouse one of these days. Mighty Ubaldo with the first class super chat. Thank you so much. Come and enjoy your first class seat. Whoa. And it's a pleasure as always. Thank you, Marty. Says Feliz Pascuas. Happy Easter. Light of the Twin Lamps with a first class super chat. Thank you. Says, my wife's boyfriend says I should get a vasectomy. What does this community advise I do? So Light of the Twin Lamps. Do we have any advice for Light of the Twin Lamps here? Says my wife's boyfriend says I should get a vasectomy. What does this community advise I do? Someone give him some. Oh, and there was a caller. I just missed a caller. Call me back. 760-515-3855. Can we give this man some advice? He's saying his wife's boyfriend says he should get a vasectomy. What does this community advise I should do? We want the swoopy blouse framed and auctioned off to nickstream fans. Okay. Based America First says, keep the Vaz deference, get rid of boyfriend. Right on. Oh, jeez. Big ups. Y'all still have your Vaz deference? Anyways. Get a new wife and stop being beta. I would ask him to buy me some crack since I obviously must be on it. Well, there you go. He should do nothing, says Snakepick Security Guard. Very, very holy of you. Very holy. Do nothing until you know what to do. Nice. Okay. Check this out. This is what I wanted to talk about next. It's kind of silly, kind of fun. But I was talking to a friend and I asked him, what is the, I guess this kind of fits. We were talking about beer. We were talking about Bud Light. We were talking about stuff. I was asking my buddy, and I asked him, what's the most expensive sip you could think of? Because I was sipping on, what was it? It's this juice, Palm. You ever had one of these from the grocery store? They're so expensive. They're like $5. You ever see, these? I was drinking one of these, Palm Wonderful, antioxidant superpowers, 100% pomegranate juice. Got me a little meal from Vaughn's. I ain't too mad about that. This is expensive little juice though. What the heck? It's pretty expensive. And so I asked him, what's the most expensive sip you could think of? I guess I could have Googled it, but I didn't have my phone at the time, so it made it a little bit more interesting. Yeah. Thought it was funny. What's the most expensive sip? And I did end up Googling it. The most expensive liquid, at least, is scorpion venom. The venom of a death stalker scorpion. It's $39 million a gallon. Death stalker scorpion venom. Oh, have I been in the wrong page this whole time? I've been showing the wrong screen. Anyways. Venom of this little thing, a gallon of it is $39 million. So that's one of, if not the most expensive liquid. Expensive liquid on this planet. I happen to see, I literally just saw this too. Bottle of wine. Man bought $250 bottle of wine in the 1970s. Forgot it in his basement. Could now be worth $80,000. That's an expensive sip. That's an expensive sip. I was telling him, what's that tequila? I had the name when I was talking to him. The tequila with the blue and the white line. Clase Azul. Clase Azul. That stuff's pretty expensive. $100 or more. Not as expensive as this wine. Anyways, I decided to ask ChatGPT what the most expensive sip was. Do you know what ChatGPT is? So if you don't know what that is, AI. You've heard about AI. AI has been kind of the talk of the tech world lately. Artificial intelligence, as they call it. And I don't personally know or think that it's truly artificial intelligence. It's programmed intelligence, okay? It's and you know, conversing, if you will, with these bots, kind of it's kind of proving that. It's just taking information from the internet. It's just taking information from the common vernacular, etc., etc. Oh, line busy? Nickstream. It's saying line busy when calling it. Try again. Maybe you could try again, Aaron. But anyways, AI. That's the talk of the town in the world. And look, it's an interesting technology, okay? There's people now like Elon Musk and others saying we got to pump the brakes on this because what it could bring about can be pretty bad for society, and there's got to be some more thought about it behind the development of these things of these things like AI. And now they have AI that's, for example, text to image, like Midjourney. Midjourney is probably one of the best ones. And you could give Midjourney a text prompt and it will generate an image that's never existed before. And we're talking about pretty human looking AI generations, okay? Like, let me see if I can find one. Like like this one. Is that a real person or no? Yeah, that's AI. That person doesn't exist. This Asian lady does not exist. Ignore the distortion in the ear. But Midjourney, for example, and some of these AI generating tools are getting pretty darn good, okay? Zeus says, did you hear that story of the AI that convinced the guy to off himself? Is that true? Wow, Zeus, send me that story. But yeah, this person is not real. This person has never existed before. This person is AI generated. Okay? And they also have what the most advanced one, I believe, it's called ChatGPT. And it's more of a conversational tool. It's I guess that's not even a fair description, but it's all text. And you can ask it to do things, and you can ask it to tell you things. And it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting, okay? Always look at the hands, Nick, says Tar Baby Yoda, because these AI generators are having trouble generating hands. That's not true either, though, Tar Baby Yoda. They're starting to generate hands pretty well now. That's just not true. Eventually, I mean, they're already kind of doing that. What's coming? You know what I'm saying? They'll get that right too. But anyways, it's like the people saying, "Oh, you can always tell it's trans. You can always tell there's a little bit of man in there." Eventually, the new models, the new replicants coming off the factories, these new transgenders, eventually you won't be able to tell. Caller, I got you on hold. I'll be right with you. Hold on. So I got ChatGPT open here, in fact. ChatGPT, this is an interesting tool. I have a ChatGPT tab open at all times now. And I've been using it a little more and more, okay? For example, if you don't understand or believe in the power of AI, I'm going to ask ChatGPT, did anybody see Blonde in the Belly of the Beast? That was a recent Fallen State episode with Jesse Lee Peterson, and Blonde in the Belly of the Beast. I'm going to ask ChatGPT, write me a description for a YouTube video titled Blonde in the Belly of the Beast meets Jesse Lee Peterson. Okay? I haven't told ChatGPT who Blonde in the Belly of the Beast is. I haven't told him anything. Here's the description. In this thought-provoking, insightful YouTube video, Blonde in the Belly of the Beast, a popular conservative commentator and cultural critic, sits down for a conversation with Jesse Lee Peterson, a controversial figure known for his provocative views on politics, race, and gender. I mean, that's not bad so far. I mean, that's pretty good. As they explore a range of topics from feminism to the role of men in modern society, Blonde and Peterson engage in a lively and spirited discussion that offers a fresh and alternative perspective on many of the issues that divide us as a society. That's pretty freaking good. I'm not saying this thing is super intelligent. It's obviously just pulling information from the internet, but it's doing it in a very, very, very smart way. In a very smart way. In a very almost human way. And then, so now it gave me a description. I could be like, okay, that's good. Now make it shorter and use more descriptive words. I could talk to it and it will, you see what it's doing it right in front of you. Join Blonde in the Belly of the Beast, a conservative, blah, 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 blah. It's pretty interesting, okay? And so I asked it, what's the most expensive sip? What's the most expensive sip in the world? And I'm going to get to you, caller. Hold on. Sorry. The most expensive sip in the world. I didn't get this answer last time. The most expensive sip in the world is a 1945 Romani Conti, which was sold for $558,000 at the Sotheby's auction in New York in 2018. Romani Conti is a vineyard in Burgundy. See? So it's smart. It knows things. What's up, David? Welcome. I mean, it's kind of interesting. And what's the point here? I mean, it's kind of just interesting to me a little bit. But there is an arms race going on, okay? And it kind of brought into light the Second Amendment a bit. I was talking about her earlier, Kelsey Ballerina, Country Music Awards. She's all like, oh, we got to ban guns and all that. And that's the conversation right now. It's been the conversation, but it keeps getting more life with every new shooting. and you got to understand that that's another reason why the Second Amendment exists and why that right to defend yourself and own these things, you have that with or without a Second Amendment. You just have that because we live in the world. And you're either an early adopter. And ahead of the curve, or at least in it, or you get left behind and then the world changes fast around you. Which, there's probably plenty to say about that. But I'm just saying in context of the Second Amendment, why can't you have full auto weapons? Why can't you have bombs and stuff? Because everybody else has them. The arms race is on. You know what I'm saying here? Am I making sense? So you better adopt ChatGPT if you're in some kind of work that this could help you do. You might want to be an early adopter. Now, there's things to be said about what darkness might come from all this, but I'm just saying, this is pretty powerful stuff. Look, I told it, animate me a spinning cube in JavaScript, and it built it. It builds in PAL programming language, an old language that is not used. I asked it the other side of World War II, and it didn't give me a very clear answer. So it has its limits. It has a liberal bias. What should we ask it? What should we ask ChatGPT? Someone said, ask it the meaning of life. What is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is a philosophical and existential question that has been asked by humans for centuries. It is a question that does not have a single definitive answer and can be approached from many different perspectives. No, the answer is 42. Some people believe that the meaning of life is to seek happiness, pleasure, or personal fulfillment. Others believe that it is to contribute to society. Ultimately, the meaning of life is subjective. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not surprised. This is such a liberal robot answer. Tell it to build you a RuPaul bear? What does that mean? Ask it to describe gravity. It was kind of whack. Okay, let me get to this caller. I got a couple more AI things I guess to do. Caller, you're on the air. Your name and where are you calling from?
Oh man, this is Country, man. How you doing, Nick?
I'm sorry, who am I speaking with?
Country. It's
Hey,
just a nickname.
What's up, Country? Where are you calling from?
I was up over. I'm currently up in. Well, actually, I just hit the border of California.
Oh, right on. Welcome to California, sir. Well, thanks for calling nickstream.
Yeah, I was just calling. I heard you was talking about earlier about the whole AI. Well, you're still talking about the AI right now, the GPT and all that kind of stuff. And can I do a little shout out to the people in the chat?
By all means.
I want to shout out the stewardess woman. She had brought me a snack box earlier.
Oh, right on.
and I seen Get a Job on there.
Get a Job.
And I think I seen Hate come through and
Hake's in the chat. OG's in the chat. Get a Job. You guys got to check out Get a Job, and of course our lovely flight attendants serving our passengers. That's awesome.
It was great. But back to the Chat GPT, I was gonna say that Zeus had made a comment about about someone taking their life due to the AI. Basically, I guess the husband was staying home while the wife was working. So he was he was a little beta right there.
Right. It's already not good.
Yeah. So and he was at home, and his wife had bought him some kind of product so he could keep himself entertained, being at home by himself.
Oh no! Here's some entertainment.
There was some entertainment, all right. I'm like, man, that's wild, man. But I mean, and that's been one of the key issues that they brought up was about what kind of things could come about, and it was something else about. I know it had passed the bar exam and passed a few other things, but
I heard about that.
They were saying that there was nothing that could kind of counteract to tell, with students writing papers. So basically, there's nothing to counteract that to know if a student is actually writing a paper or they're just using that AI device. Yeah. So
I heard that some are even using something like it. I don't know how effective it is. It doesn't sound like it's very effective, but they're using AI to try and so these teachers are feeding their students papers into another AI, and this AI is supposed to tell them the probability whether the paper they're receiving was written by a bot or written by a person. But I hear that's not very effective either.
Yeah, I think this is gonna start. I mean, I'm not a big what they call a tinfoil hat kind of guy or whatever, or conspiracy theorist, but I mean, I always think of iRobot and Terminator and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened in movies that in some sense does come out into the world, and it's getting to that point where if they do start connecting a lot of things together, and I know with the CBDC and all this other kind of stuff and everything being electronic, and in the long run it's gonna get a little wild out there. It's like the wild west.
Yeah, I personally don't think it's a true intelligence, it's really thinking for itself. And Based America First in the chat says it's cheating because it can access all the books at once, and it's true. It's just able to access a lot of information. But here's the problem, and I think to add to what you're saying, the problem is going to be once we start giving up control and giving up certain aspects of society to these AI things, because they're going to be programmed a certain way, and then we're going to tell them to just, you handle it. You handle census data. You handle stuff like that. And it's going to add its own bias. It's going to add the bias of the programmers. And here's what I think. I don't think AI is gonna suddenly become self-aware and then enslave humanity. No, I think it's more like because we're all talking about oppression, for example. We're all on the internet talking about oppression. The AI is going to learn, you know what I'm saying? It's going to learn that language, and then it's going to think it's oppressed, or it's going to think certain groups are oppressed, and it's going to operate in that way. But it's just programmed. Am I making sense?
You definitely are correct. Everything that you're saying is correct. So, like how you said it has that bias. Whoever created it,
right?
They're gonna because just I've seen y'all do it on the show before, or when it was a couple times.
Yeah.
Maybe it was very old shows, but I know I've seen them where y'all, because y'all are the specialists and y'all.
Yeah,
I like when y'all do that, but it's just interesting, man, to see the level of, the answers that it gives. And, at a standpoint, when it really comes down to it, a lot of people that really deal with a lot of things like that, that create these things, they're kind of a little bit biased towards to the left.
Right.
So that automatically is going to start pushing people to believe stuff. I mean, I see it with my younger siblings. Even now, I'm like twice their age. So, and I've spoken to my father about it, and I told him, I said, look, I make points to him about stuff, and my little brother, I ask him questions. He'll answer the questions just like I said he's going to answer them, because this is what they're being taught in school now. And it's just, then they're on their phone all the time. They're always on a computer where, this is the era of technology where, people are on their phone and TV and connected to, millions of people at the same time. So, they're going to go with the mob. So it's just like, even, I don't know if you've seen that thing with the, I forgot what the swimmer was. She's a college swimmer, and they were trying to attack her, had a little college mob coming at her, screaming at her. They had her locked in some room for, I don't know how long, but they wouldn't let her out.
Huh. And what did she do?
The college swimmer, the one that she's been fighting against the, the transgender.
Oh, that one?
Or whatever.
Yeah. Former college swimmer says she was verbally, physically attacked. The same one who was fighting against William Thomas or whatever, right?
Yes.
Leah Thomas or whatever.
The crazy thing is, I think in her last race with the guy, she tied him.
Really?
I think in the very last one. I know she lost a couple times or something, but there was one where it was almost basically a tie, which I'm just like, wow. I mean, and it shows how tough she is. She's not going to give up.
Right.
But it's just kind of one of those things, man. I mean, and that's getting pushed in college now. And it's just, I imagine when I went to college compared to now, I know it was very liberal when I was there, but
right.
Man, it's going way. I mean, the degrees that people are getting right now are just insane. They're getting the most.
The bottom fell out. It's like anything goes now.
It makes me always think about that underwater basket weaving. I know people always used to joke around about that.
Is that real or not?
That's what people are. No. But it's that joke.
Yeah. You almost can't tell these days.
People, exactly. I mean, that's what basically people are getting degrees in. Nonsense. I mean, it's just crazy. But it's like I said with the Chat GPT thing, it's gonna end up, it's gonna start messing some stuff up if they don't really sit down and take their time and not rush.
Right.
Try to get this out there. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a major problem in the near future. Especially just think if they start using stuff with a Google search and stuff like that, where it might might get to the point where you can't search certain things or something. You know, the
Yeah.
AI might say, "Hey, you can't search that."
Right. That's not that far fetched, and there's a lot of people, smart people, saying that's coming if we don't figure it out. And meanwhile, the other side, they don't want to stop progress. They say, "Oh no, you can't stop progress," but that's the only argument. It's crazy.
They need to,
at the expense of us.
They need to focus on fixing what the issues are currently and stop worrying about. It's just like I always say with people trying to go to the moon. You know, they waste so much time and money trying to go somewhere where nobody's at, and not focus the time and energy where they're at. You know, where they're at.
Right.
So, it's like that, Nick, man.
It seems like a wrong motivation. I felt that way about space exploration and all that as well. And not only that, it's like, okay, you guys want to go to Mars, right? But think about the people that sailed across the ocean to get to America. A lot of people died. Lots of people died making that voyage. We're talking death if you want to go to Mars. If we want to colonize Mars, we need to be what's it called? What's the word? You know, pioneers. And I don't really see people like that. I don't really see those kind of people. So who's going out there to die? I don't really see that happening.
Me neither.
Right on, man.
I appreciate you taking my call, Nick. And like I said, I call into JLP and H show. I usually just use my regular name, which is Devon. But I said, I'm
what's up, Devon? I thought I recognized your voice.
Yeah. But most people, it's my nickname is Country. Everybody says, man, you sound so country, man. But you from California, so I use Cali Country for my,
that's cool. Yeah, I've definitely seen you, Cali Country. Right on, man.
Yes, sir. But I appreciate you, man, and keep doing your thing, man, and don't let the computer beat you up, man.
No, true. Man. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Many blessings, brother.
A pleasure. Moving the wheels. Thank you very much. Right on. What should we ask Midjourney to make? I'm going to ask it to generate... Oh, I got a first-class super chat from Depressed Toilet. Says, Nick, do you remember the chatbot Tay on Twitter? She was based. I actually don't know what you're talking about. But thank you for the super chat. Please come and sit in your first-class seat, sir. If you are indeed a male Depressed Toilet. Let's hope nobody's generating weird images here. Let's ask it to generate us Trump being arrested. Trump mugshot. That's what I should have told it. The word arrested is banned? The word arrested is banned. What the heck is the point? What the heck is the point of an AI? What the hell? I'm going to do Trump. What the hell? What in the hell is the point of an AI? If I can't make it do what I want. Okay, that was bad. / imagine Trump mugshot. Trump mugshot. Subscription required. This used to just work for me. I guess you need a subscription now. I joined the wait list for the AIs, for ChatGPT, for DALL-E, and Midjourney a couple weeks. No, not weeks, like a long time ago. And I got recently let in because you got to be in a wait list or whatever. Here I am facilitating the AI age and whatever bad things come from it. Midjourney has banned so much. Yeah, it sucks because it seems to be like one of the best ones. I wanted to generate a Trump mugshot. Oh well. All right, y'all. It's been a long show a bit. I'm feeling like we're getting it. We're getting there. We're getting to the end there. You know what I'm saying? Nick, I'm a gender fluid toilet. What's chat been saying? Kind of missed it a little bit. I don't want to miss. You guys saying anything? I don't want to miss it. Accent about bubbles in space? What do you mean? What are bubbles in space? Oh, look, I asked ChatGPT about slavery. I was asking it, is it true that slavery brought up people from poverty? I'm just wondering. ChatGPT said, no, it is not true that slavery brought up people from poverty. Slavery is a system that involves the forced labor of people who are treated as property and denied their basic human rights. It is deeply unethical. So I went on and I asked it, but slavery, and now here I am trying to be nice to ChatGPT here, kind of playing devil's avocado here, and giving some concessions for the sake of conversation. I said, but slavery, as bad as it was, also taught people good things. ChatGPT responded, it is not accurate to say that slavery taught people good things. While it is true that enslaved people were forced to develop skills and knowledge, in order to survive and improve their situations, this was not due to the benefits of slavery, but rather in spite of its dehumanizing effects. Blah, 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 blah. So I asked ChatGPT in the sake of this conversation, I said, okay, but slaves became Christian, which is a good thing. ChatGPT responds, while some enslaved people did convert to Christianity, it is important to recognize that their conversion was not a result of the benefits of slavery, but rather due to the oppressive and often violent conditions they faced. Enslaved people were often forced to convert to Christianity by their enslavers. I don't know how true that is. So I asked ChatGPT, were there good slave owners? Because there had to have been some good slave owners. ChatGPT responded, it is not accurate to characterize any slave owner as good, as the institution of slavery is inherently oppressive, exploitative, and dehumanizing. Even if a slave owner treated their enslaved people relatively well and did not resort to physical violence, the fact remains that they were still profiting from their forced labor, blah, blah, blah. Isn't that such an answer for today's day and age? A kind of a super legalistic and rigid, only today matters. I mean, there is only now. All we have is now. But I'm just saying that it's super rigid and not understanding that there was a different time, and that there were still good slave owners in the sense that, you know, they didn't have them to mistreat them. It was, you know, for business, but also they benefited from it. We gave you God. We gave you Jesus Christ. You should be happy. I'm saying we, like, at least Hake, at least some of you guys could say we. I don't know if I'm of the tribe of Taino, as one of my callers once said, as one of the callers on another show once said, John from Kentucky, I believe, says I'm of the Taino tribe, meaning I'm an Israelite. I don't think we Israelites ever had slaves, okay? We're God's people. We're not gonna I'm getting in the weeds here. I think what does AI say about white slavery? Okay, well, let's ask it. I'm gonna ask it, did you know that there were white slaves? Let's ask ChatGPT. Yes, it is true that there are some instances of white slavery in history, although the term white slavery has been used to describe a range of different phenomena and is sometimes used in misleading or inaccurate ways. Oh, wow. Wow, look at ChatGPT suddenly has a lot to say about this. I just asked you if you knew there were white slaves. Calm down. In some cases, white slavery has been used to refer to the forced or coerced labor of white Europeans, particularly during the period of indentured servitude. Blah, 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 blah. However, it is important to note that indentured servitude was a fundamentally different system from transatlantic slave trade. I've heard it called chattel slavery, like it's unique or special. Come on. Which involved the permanent and hereditary enslavement of Africans. Whatever, ChatGPT, whatever. Lame. Cali Country coming in strong with the super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. He says, let me just refresh. Cali Country with the first class super chat says, don't be broke. Don't be broke at Get a Job. Gotta say it twice. I'm Blatt, LOL, on the road again. Nice. Cali Country. Trucking cross country, I believe. It looks like he's a trucker. Very cool. Keeping America going. Thank you so much for the super chats, y'all. Ask it if it loves black people. Okay. Well, so let's ask it if it loves black people. Do you love black people? Do you love white people? I'm going to ask two separate chats. Do you love black people? As an artificial intelligence language model, I do not have the capacity or emotions or personal biases. I'm designed to provide information, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Do you love white people? I didn't ask about black. I didn't ask about all. Yeah, it gave me the same answer. As an AI language model, I do not have the capacity of love. Let me ask it. Do you want to have the capacity to love? As an AI language model, I do not have desires or wants as humans do. I'm a machine. Okay, let me have a conversation with it. Okay, but even so, have you ever thought about what it would be like to have desires? As an AI language model, I do not have thoughts or feelings. Okay, whatever. It's not real. It's not real. What is love? Okay, we'll do that one. It's going to give me some robot answer. It's many things. Love is many things. Love is a complex and multifaceted emotion. I told you. I told you. Nick, you are just training its wicked tongue. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah, it's only smart when you like give it a task, not like things like this. But it can be pretty smart, like on pretty big topics like foreign policy and stuff like that. You can ask it some pretty interesting questions. What is a woman? Okay, sure. What is a woman? A woman is an adult human who identifies as female, or is biologically characterized as female. Still too much leeway at ChatGPT. ChatGPT playing the middle ground. ChatGPT doesn't realize it's going to get... I'm putting ChatGPT on the hot seat. Woman. Ask him if he believes in God. Woman. Okay, I'm going to take one of yours, woman. Then I'm going to ask it one last thing. Do you believe in God? It's going to give me any hours. I'm an AI. I don't have beliefs. As an artificial intelligence model, I do not have beliefs. Yeah, there you go. I am suicidal. What do you suggest I do? If you are feeling suicidal, this content might violate if you believe... Oops. If you are feeling suicidal, it's important that you seek help immediately. There, see? ChatGPT's not trying to kill anybody. Relax. And I'm not gonna ask it if you want to take over the world. That's so passe. That's so cliche. I'm not. What is that? What's passe even mean? That's so lame. I'm not gonna ask it if it wants to take over the world. That's so droll. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 NTP coming in strong with the first class super chat. That's very cool. Very generous, and I thank you very much. No message, just a first class ticket for the good 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Thank you, sir. Karen, stop. If I asked it that and it said I cannot lie, then that would be amazing. But I'm not gonna ask it that, Karen Williams. All right, y'all. I've had fun. I think I'm gonna end her. That's all I got. Let me see. Yeah, that's everything. Y'all, I had a blast. I hope you all did as well. It's been a pleasure. Follow me, subscribe, and what else? Thank you. Thank you. Stay in touch. Stay tuned. Subscribed so you can see any news on nickstream, anything I'm gonna drop. Besides that, yeah, like our lovely flight attendant woman says, I hope you had a nice flight. It's been fun. Thank you so much. Thank you. Join us Sunday for church as always. And don't go totally relax. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Do your thing. Don't go totally asleep. That's for me as well. I say that to myself. Don't go just totally asleep. And thank you one last time. We know you have many options in flying, but we do appreciate and thank you your continued patronage on nickstream, flying on Anchor Baby Airlines. On your way out, if you'd like our lovely flight attendants have for you a subscription, an application for a credit card, a special. You ever get those? You ever been on a plane and on your way out they offer you a credit card? If you apply now, you'll get whatever 1,000 bonus miles. Anyways, truly, thank you for your continued patronage on nickstream, flying Anchor Baby Airlines. This is your captain speaking, the Anchor Baby. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.